Good. So, happy Monday. Stefan also played the showcase, but he was also playing. You were playing us
I didn't
Alchemy.
really play. I didn't really play the showcase. I played.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 0-1 dropped because I could focus on the tournament. I played Reanimator.
Yeah.
I would
Fair
usually
enough.
not play Reanimator, but you told me to if I want to double queue that I should play that, and I think that was a good idea.
Unfortunately, I mean, I guess if you started like 1-0 or something, you would have.
I would have
Um.
kept playing.
Okay. So I think everything should be fine. Let's. Yeah. So Ragavan ban. I mean, generally speaking, how did you feel about that personally? I mean,
The Ragavan ban.
yeah.
Um, Personally, from a personal subjective level, I like it because I think it's egregious that there is a one drop in the format that you have to immediately like put something in front of or answer because
Hmm.
otherwise it snowballs out of control. There you can obviously go like super deep in the discussion but as to why it was bad or good that it has been banned, but the fact that it is banned is like the only thing that counts now. So whatever. Um, I just think like it's not good gameplay to focus
Hmm.
around the one drop. You could argue that Mother of Runes is similar, but Mother of Runes doesn't do anything by itself, so like it's not really a good comparison. There aren't any one drops in Magic actually that just generate card advantage, can make mana while dealing damage. It's
Yeah.
just like it might not have been too good for the format, but it definitely created bad gameplay in my opinion.
Yeah. I think generally the games where Ragavan's unkilled and like you try to play a blocker, but it gets killed and then you get hit. It's not
Well,
very.
DRS is banned.
Yeah.
Whoever says that in chat, and also DRS isn't as egregious as Ragavan in my opinion. It's just like it's first and foremost it's a mana dork, and then it starts to become like a pinger or like Grey Fade or whatever. Like I agree,
Mm-hmm.
DRS is probably better than Ragavan. It's close between the two for sure, but like
Mm-hmm.
um DRS doesn't like force you to answer it on turn one. Like you'd want to
Right.
kill it, but you don't 100% have to kill it or you lose the game or something.
Whereas Ragavan, it's like either your
You need
deck
to put
doesn't
a
really well,
yeah.
you have to play a gut shot sometimes on the draw, which is like kind of a
You,
sign that things are very polarized.
you have to put like blockers in front of it with some or remove it, because otherwise it's gonna be it's more volatile than like a DRS for example, because like
Mm-hmm.
against elves for example, Ragavan wasn't like really a good card.
Yeah.
Yeah, DRS didn't make yeah. Also like obviously DRS plus days also was pretty egregious to play against. I don't deny
Mm-hmm.
that. I just feel like all this like building your deck like around answering this one drop like at any cost every time just warps the gameplay too much. And Ragavan definitely was pretty annoying to deal with for the combo decks in this format. So
Yeah.
I think like the
Yeah.
combo was almost extinct. Like there was like a few select people who still play Doomsday maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody plays ANT. There's like I guess there is TS, but even people playing TS didn't really want to play TS. There's show and tell decks were pretty extinct. There was only Reanimator because Reanimator is like just a broken deck if you don't have Graveyard Day. So it's
Right.
like Ragavan kind of like warped the format in a sense, I think. And I don't think it necessarily needed to be banned yet, but like I do think it's better gameplay if it's not in the format. So might as well just remove it.
Yeah, I think basically now that Wizards is willing to ban based on play experiences rather than just like raw, numbers or power level or however you want to put it, that's a fine ban to make. I mean, we have a lot of bans like that on the list.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, I've talked about this with other people, but I think Mind Twist is probably not too good. But who really wants to play against Mind Twist, right?
yeah,
Like,
like Mind Twist is probably not even good, but like, yeah, there's like, would it be good gameplay? I'm not sure. I mean, probably wouldn't matter too much. But like, so gotta
yeah,
be honest, I think Mind Twist just wouldn't matter too much. But like, Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's also subjective to say. I say it's bad gameplay. Other people might think it's good
Oh yeah,
gameplay because
exactly. That
Ragavan dashing and like that there were like some interesting interaction. Like your opponent could like dash Ragavan. Like you had to play around them dashing Ragavan, so you need to leave back some blockers. Or like
mhm,
sometimes you had to like stack your cantrips in weird or interesting ways because they could like
mhm.
Ragavan your top card or whatever. Like it was not like super like uninteresting to play with and against it, but like it definitely like shortens the time that like cards are relevant. So like everyone needs to play a super efficient answers versus it. Like you can't just sit there and have no blockers, no removal. So combo decks are kind of bad versus it, and so on and so on. So it's like it's kind of warping, and the gameplay is kind of frustrating to lose against it as well.
Yeah. Well, so now that's gone, and you can play it in only modern and vintage, and I guess MH2 limited. But let's talk about what happened to the deck list. I mean, you know,
Oh yeah, so mainly we just swapped the Ragavans for Delvers and
of
more
course,
and
yeah,
like another Mishra's Bauble, I guess,
yeah,
and Brazen Bora that we can see here occlusion
yeah.
wise. Um,
Hmm.
the most notable thing to me is that we got back to playing basic islands because
Yep.
there's many reasons why Ragavan made basics bad. First and foremost,
Hmm.
you want to play Ragavan while having days up, so
Yep.
Mountain was never good with Ragavan, and Island was kind of problematic when you have so many red spots. Like so often you would want to like
Yep.
iteration into a red one drop or something.
Yep.
And then like the other issue is also that like Wasteland. I feel like Wasteland definitely was still good, but like Wasteland gets worse when your opponent has Ragavan in play, so you kind of
Agreed.
don't want to waste them when they
Yep.
make treasures. So playing like waste people sided out Wastelands partly in the mirror, so like it was just better to have like blue red lands all around.
Hmm.
Now I feel like since you have another blue one drop again, you can more often fetch basic islands, and so everything kind of changes. Wasteland is like Wasteland sort of is better again, so you can build your deck more around it, and so on. Like mainly the main deck is like the same deck as before. We're just choosing to play a Brazen Bora and like another Bauble and some more Delvers. I think
Yes.
that's probably
Yeah.
good inclusions. I'm on board with the two Bauble thing. I'm on board
Hmm.
with the like the spell pierce and like force of negation. I don't know like what the correct like split or whatever is,
Hmm.
but I like having more counters manic as JPA did in his last pre-ban list.
Yep.
I think this deck could be soft to combo otherwise. So I generally like having like one or two more interaction spells manic than just the four force of will for days. Um, and then yeah, we have another chain lightning, which is fine. The sideboard looks basically like pre-ban. There's like I guess the Hull Breacher was also something people play pre-ban already.
Yeah, I've always been more pro Hull Breacher in these decks than Narset because I think it makes it a lot more awkward for your opponent when they're playing combo because you don't have to tap out, then you get to like flash this
Yeah,
thing, and if they ever cast a cantrip, then the game just like ends on the spot if you Hull Breacher
yeah.
them.
I don't really like Narset in Delver anymore.
So a few
Mainly also
questions.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah.
a few questions from the chat. No more Two Island Mountain. That got destroyed by MH2, I think, immediately. Like, I don't think you really want to do that. Maybe if you
I could
have like a true name set up instead, but
I could definitely see going back to Island Mountain, but like I need to try it. I think
mhm.
I think for now I'm pretty convinced that you need to play at least one island.
Yep.
I don't know much about other stuff.
Well, so the problem with playing Island Mountain, I think, is the same issue with playing too many cards that aren't like blue red duels, which is you run into the same problem. Whereas you want DRC plus days on one kind of often. Like, I think you can play
Oh
one
yeah,
island, but I don't think you can play multiple islands. I especially really don't want to play Mountain, personally.
yeah. I don't know too much about that. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
also like it's a thing of either you play Sanctuary or you play Mountain. So like
Yep.
if you really needed to like add Mountain to this deck, you definitely need to cut the Sanctuary. I think
Yep. Uh,
it's
yeah.
probably yeah they're exclusive to each other. So
So someone asked about Chain Lightning, Unholy Heat, I guess Dead Gone, Pyroblast, Forkbolt, or
there's
like
infinite
yeah.
infinite cards you could replace Chain Lightning with. I don't have a strong opinion on Chain Lightning. I mean, it could
Uh,
just be anything.
I have a relatively strong opinion that I think it should actually be a sorcery. For
Oh yeah, maybe
Dorium,
it should be a sorcery. Yeah,
but
that's a good point.
I mean, like, obviously, Unholy Heat is better at killing things, but the thing is, like, there are weird games where you just finish your opponent from like 9 because you just drew 3 bolts, and Chain is good in that role.
One thing that I like about Chain is that it just cleanly kills 3/3 DRCs.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's another nice thing too.
which like Tarfire or Dead Gun or whatever don't do. But the others all have upsides and
Mhm.
downsides. So I don't
So
know. You can
yeah,
this just like an endless discussion about this
yeah, of
one
course. You,
removal spell.
I think
It's like
you can basically pick your favorite, and it's probably fine to do. I choose Chain because yeah, it can go face, and also it has no conditionality except you really shouldn't cast it if your opponent has 2 red sources up. That's the only condition.
yeah.
Um, I actually was gonna play 2 Spell Pierce, and I remembered that some people do like to play Life from the Loam, so I just changed 1 Pierce to a Fawn, and I think sometimes Fawn is better than Pierce because you just don't want to tap out as well. You know?
It's better against like Reanimator
Sure.
usually.
Oh yeah, Bob told me that he expected a slight uptick in combo because I think Ragavan was keeping combo down to a certain
It
degree.
definitely was making it hard for like show and tell and
Mm-hmm.
dark ritual based strategies to like just pass the turn and like cantrip because like you get hit by something that like could theoretically just hit a cantrip or a discard spell or like it just generates treasures so they like
Yep.
Xerox through their deck and find all the current counter spells that they need and yeah.
Yeah. So, I we'll just go over this side real quick. I think Pyroblast needs no like introduction or discussion. It's just it's the best at what it does, which is any blue deck you probably want most of them, if not all of them. I only played 1 Meltdown. I didn't actually expect that much 8 cast or whatever, and it's only okay versus Death and Taxes. I think like it's a fine card to side in, but it's not really going to have the effect you want it to. I think a lot of the time, because I don't think it's like a lock that every game is a Saga game for them. I think there's plenty of games where they just go like Vile Recruiter, when your Meltdown kills 1 Vile, but is that even a good trade for you? Not really.
Yeah, not really. I think Meltdown is just specifically
Yeah.
if you want to hit the 8 cast deck or like the I think it's a fine card to bring in against
Mhm.
the Saga decks, but I don't think they exist anymore. If like people I mean they could probably still exist, but people
Sure.
like used to play them with Ragavan, like they were called Sagavan decks for a reason.
Right.
So maybe there's yeah, the only really reason to play Meltdown is 8
Yes.
cast. So
So I actually did play against Death and Taxes a few times. I think you're unfavored, but I think Sanctuary actually helps a lot. Um, because what actually happens in that matchup is they try to like grind you down, and one of the ways you can win is just by casting a bunch of expressive iterations after you've been ground down. Like obviously, it's I think this configuration versus Death and Taxes is much weaker than you could have otherwise. You could play like a Torpor Orb, you could play Soulfire Elemental, you could play Izzet Staticaster. There's a lot of ways you can improve. You just have to
yeah,
decide you want to do that.
you could play like Rough Tumble. You could play like
Mm,
I don't know, a braid or whatever. I don't know. There's more cards. So far, the meta is pretty good. Yeah,
yeah. So we'll just discuss some of the other cards. Hole Breacher we've discussed. I just like having that card because it has flash.
yeah. Then
Uh,
like the Court of Cunning, another card is control decks and like some slower decks
I
makes sense.
I actually expected a bunch of the Jeskai Breacher deck. I think Court, if you land it for some, is like almost unbeatable for them.
Yeah,
Like because the way
totally.
they're
Yeah.
structured, they don't have that many creatures. You have to just watch out for Cycled Shark Typhoon on this turn cycle you cast it. But I'm waiting to cast it with Pyroblast backup anyways, so I don't think that's really a big deal. Um, and Force of Negation just another like counter spell. Submerge is for Knight of the Reliquary / Proclaimer / Merit Lage, I guess. Um, and I'm playing End of the Festivities. I'm not sure if it's correct, but I think it is. It's hard to tell sometimes, though.
I don't know. I mean, there is, as we said, there's Rough Tumble. There is End. There's Staticaster. All those have like different applications. Um, of pre-ban, I liked Staticaster because it like was kind of a lock piece against elves.
Right.
And the festivities, both of them are like bad or good in like different kind of games. Like the games where like get overran, and the festivities might be better. The games are like the longer games.
Right.
You always would want to have the static caster. Rough tumbling specifically got better now because we don't play Ragavan anymore, so we have more flyers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it also kills Stoneforge Mystic, which is one of the
Oh,
reasons why
I
I
see.
could see Rough Tumble being
I
better,
see.
like
Yeah.
at least like one or so, because like just against DNT that might be good.
Yeah,
Um,
I could definitely. The flip side is if you iteration to end the festivities is usually a lot
yeah,
better to do
it's
so,
just a
but
more flexible card.
mhm.
Would you ever run Sanctuary main deck? You could do that.
So I have a quick answer to that question. If you expect a lot of fair matchups, I would put the Sanctuary main. But if you expect any sort of like degen whatever, you don't really want that card in your main deck because it's like that card is only good in slow matchups, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there used to be this as Tristan pointed out, there used to be this trick where like in the Murktide mirrors you have like two both are 8/8 and you block their
Yeah, yeah,
Murktide and then you fetch Sanctuary and you make it a
yeah.
9/9 and
I
their
mean,
Murktide dies.
t-
That might matter, I don't know.
it it.
I've never had the situation come
I,
up.
I'm gonna say it could matter, but I think what actually happens when you have Mystic Sanctuary in your deck, what actually matters is just casting iteration like 7 times or whatever.
Yeah, what actually matters is like have it like it could matter game one because you have like iterations that you want to like cast and stuff.
That's very unlikely to happen because I built that sideboard like last second and I didn't write down anything. I just knew it mostly worked in my head. Someone's asking for a collated and stapled sideboard guide. Also,
Someone
who
I know who this someone is.
I also know who it is, but who prints out sideboard guides too? I'm not printing it out and mailing it to you stapled. So you're gonna just have to do that yourself. Also, I don't have one, so good luck with that. All right. Anything else to mention? No, I had some really sick games. I'm kind of sad I didn't actually like. Well, we can use the replay function for that one match, but the read match I think was actually insane. But I didn't record on this side. I do have the replay though. But we
Yeah.
do have replays. You've had bind opponents produce ring binders between rounds before. Yeah, that was Mark Jacobson. My teammate Mark Jacobson, literally had a ring binder of like the metagame
Oh,
breakdown and sideboard plans.
can you share screen in Discord?
Oh yes, I can.
Because I can definitely see it on the stream,
Yeah,
but
no,
like
no.
it would be like, in exact real time. That would be better.
I thought I was sharing, then I forgot I wasn't. So
It's
should
fine.
be in now. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Oh wait, wrong viewer. I hate that viewer. Open with VLC. Yes, I have VLC. VLC media player is broken. Well, I hope it's not literally broken. No. Okay, so my first matchup, I did not really know what my opponent was playing. But let's see. I'm trying to speed it up real quick because faster. 0.1 faster. We'll just like go to 1.3 because I don't want to sit here all day.
Sure.
The first hand was not good. You could
Yeah,
tell.
and then we keep this, and I'll probably put back island. It's either island or fetch.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, I did look up their history and it was Izzet Delver, but I
Oh, okay.
still think it's still correct to put back Island
It's yeah.
or Fetch. It's Island or Fetch. You're definitely not shipping any of the spells once you've gone to 6 cards. Let's see.
Yeah.
Can I make this bigger? Okay, I guess this is as big as it's getting.
Yeah.
Well, my
It's a good
opponent has gone
sign.
to 4 cards though, so that makes it a lot easier.
Holy shit. Yeah. That seems.
Yeah, I screenshot because I'm like, yeah, I'm free rolling because this game actually goes on a while. Because I don't have a clock on them, right? Like so, we'll see where it goes though. So Rainforest Island Ponder. What vibes do you get from that?
It could be anything. I don't know. Could be Delver, could be Show and Tell, could be Control Deck.
So
It's probably
does
not in. It's instead on Snow Island. I guess it could be like
yeah,
Ice Qualifier.
exactly.
Could be
I
like any of these decks.
well without Snow Island, I would write off like a Bant or a Omnito or whatever. Like I don't think they have Ice Fang in their deck probably, which is good to think about. So I did get some Omnito vibes, except then I remembered that if it was blue green, they would usually have Snow Island. So I wasn't sure. Like it could be something, but then Underground Sea, I'm just like, okay, is that ANT?
Oh, it's Doomsday.
Okay, yes, that is the correct vibe. But do they usually play Basic Island?
Oh yeah, they do.
Okay, all right, and I'm definitely wasting them here. I guess I iteration first to see if I find a waste, because if obviously I would rather use that waste, and I already have enough Force of Will as I'm just like looking for something productive to do. So do you waste them or take the land off iteration?
I would take the land
Okay.
because like we have so many Force of Wills. I don't know. We were so unlikely to anything bad happening to us.
Mm-hmm.
And like the extra land makes us able to iteration into 2 spells because then you can play 1 drop and have a spell in your hand.
Yeah, I decided not. I decided to just waste them because I figured they were
Actually,
so low on resources.
I would have probably just wasted them and not cast iteration.
That's also reasonable.
Because
But
like
mhm,
if we think that they're Doomsday, I mean obviously clock matters, so maybe we're
mhm.
supposed to cast iteration. Yeah, no, actually I think casting iteration is fine because you kind of want to find a threat soonish. You have so many Force of Will, so it doesn't really matter the extra card. But like the I don't know about the straight up wastelanding them because one way you could lose this game is that like they like Dark Ritual Doomsday, you have
Mhm.
to force, they daze.
And then I have to
Because
force
not
again. Yeah.
yeah, that's like one way you lose. And if we had the island or if we just wasted and didn't cast iteration, we would have a mana up for that.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, I would just play around these sort of.
So yeah, I think that was kind of a spew in retrospect, but let
But
me
they're on
see.
4 cards, so they will not win this game.
I'm gonna just fast forward a little bit because they spent so much time thinking before putting brainstorm on the stack. They just sat there for like 50 seconds thinking about that.
Yeah. Well, doomsday things.
Well, it.
Just doomsday things.
I mean, I guess.
Well, they could be thinking about the pile before they cast brainstorm, right?
Oh sure. Yeah, yeah, and this is why I don't play Doomsday.
It takes a long time if you like are not like super like fluent with like everything.
I mean, yeah, I kind of wonder if they should even. Well, I don't know. Obviously, it depends on what their hand is. I guess if they have no land, they kind of should cast Brainstorm as well.
Oh yeah, they're not likely to have land because they could have like another dual land in hand, I
Okay.
guess. But
Whoops. I've fast forwarded a little bit too much, but they took so long in that Brainstorm. Obviously, I
yeah,
let that
the dark
resolve.
riddle, yeah, you have to resolve and then you have to counter pitch like probably brazen boar.
Yeah, that's Borrower. And if they daze, I should just force again, unfortunately, which is
Yeah.
the Wasteland thing you were talking about. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is basically the only way I saw us like ever like falling behind is when we have to force twice the next turn.
Yeah, but they only have one card, and
Yeah,
there's
no,
another
they're
Wasteland.
like they're very dead still, but like
Yeah.
we need a creature now. Oh, and we don't find a creature.
I do get to take the
Yeah,
bauble and this is where bauble is actually kind of nice. And I just bauble
yeah,
them because might as
ball
well
is
get.
pretty good here. Yeah,
It's just a free card essentially. Bolt is not that good. Force is not that good, so I should play my land out in case if I draw a fifth land.
it's interesting. I'm not sure if I would have played the first wasteland there because like they might have a UC that they're sandbagging for their next Dark Ritual Doomsday if
Fair.
you show them the wasteland.
And yeah, I'm
But
just
when as soon as you draw Force
yeah
of Will, you're supposed to play your lands out.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm just casting the region every time here. I think it's
Oh, you
crazy
take
to just hold up
counter.
force and they have
No,
to
you,
for
you
yeah.
you always cast it there. You always cast it there.
I mean, I
Definitely.
think some people wouldn't, and I think it would be like very, very wrong not to.
Oh yeah, it definitely would be a mistake because like also it pressures your opponent's doomsday in a way.
Yep.
Like specifically in this combo matchup, you don't want to do
I have a lot of
that.
bolts, so now if
Those
they
are
resolve Doomsday and have to say go, they're actually dead, right?
yeah, because they go down to 9 and then you bolt untap bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're pretty dobs. So just you're just looking for like a like I don't know how to say
Like a
some
one drop threat.
random creature that starts hitting them, so they have to move.
Yep.
Honestly, there's no way for them to win this game. I think, other than some really strange scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're very close to 0% with you having this bolt. Like they need to find like Doomsday plus double counter backup or like duress plus Doomsday plus something, or I
But
don't know.
the problem is they just don't have enough cardboard for that, right?
Yeah, they will never get there. I think, or maybe they should hardcast their street wave. I don't know.
Hard cast
But
street, right? I don't think hard
like
cast street.
they okay from their perspective, they're playing correctly because they don't know that
Mm-hmm.
you have those. Oh, this policy is interesting. I suppose you're just meant to like, oh yeah, you could do that, I guess.
No, I
Oh no,
concluded that this is a lot
this
better.
is
I think.
this is definitely a correct play. No, this is the correct play.
I forgot I had done this, and then now that I see it happen, I'm like, this is definitely correct because like, what is the waste I'm doing?
Five head Jarvis.
I always look for that play because it just feels so good every time it happens as well.
It's not always good, right? But
But
like,
I think it's definitely good here.
it's definitely good here.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it another brainstorm?
All right. So now I could waste them, but I'm thinking about the. Oh no, I just waste them upkeep. That's right.
Yeah,
Never mind.
I would definitely waste them.
Okay.
Then not I have to cast Dark Ritual to get Doomsday.
So I think I actually make a slight mistake at towards the end of this game, which is kind of funny because there's like I had basically no decisions most of this game, except for the iteration thing and um.
Yeah, like the spell pierce thing.
Well, I think the spell pierce thing was definitely correct.
No. Oh, you mean like
Yeah.
yeah? I mean it's like you could just choose to let it resolve, for example. Like it's definitely a decision.
Yeah, but I think that's actually wrong because I think the
No, it's wrong.
information.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
saying it's wrong. I'm just
Yeah.
saying like it's a decision, right?
Yeah. Oh, true. 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 All right. All right.
uh,
So do I even want to
ooh,
cast this here?
yeah, maybe you want to. I think you do. Oh, we put back bold. Yeah, probably putting back bold is fine.
Well, I'm just planning on redrawing it. I think in this scenario,
Yeah,
but
you definitely redraw it. Yeah, and since we have 3 red up, we can just always wait. There's like the couple turns before, there might have been a window for them to like go off, survive 2 bolts, and like win the same turn or something.
yeah,
Because like you didn't have 3 red, but since the last 2 or 3 turns we have like 3 red, so there's no way for them to win.
I knew my top card was Ponder, so I was okay.
Yeah,
That don't need more threats. Like that's not what the game's about. Force negation's decent.
perfect. Throw
Red,
force attack. Throw.
red. Counter target Doomsday. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like,
It doesn't only counter Doomsday; it counters the player. The player is countered.
what are you just countered? Yeah, I mean, they started with 4 cards, and my hand wasn't actually great, but I think it was definitely good enough for the scenario they were in. You know.
Yeah.
So I think I got greedy here and hardcast this, and I kind of regret this in retrospect. Oh no, I changed my
Oh, just
mind.
countered.
I changed my mind. I fawned it.
Yeah, hard casting this there would definitely be a huge sweep. Well, we didn't do
Okay,
that.
I was not supposed to do this. This was actually a mistake. That's what I'm talking about now.
Why don't we just like let their Doomster resolve?
Yeah, I
They
don't
get the
know.
3. Like they just die.
This was a mistake. I don't know. And they packed it. I'm like, okay.
That's a true fan, Marcus. You're a true fan.
So I think I just end up. I don't remember what I do here. I leave on top, and I guess I just. Oh yeah, I just let it
You flanked it.
resolve, because I actually think since they only have one card in hand, they can't win this turn, so the Pact of Negation kills them, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
So I actually don't even know why they pacted that bolt, right? Like it doesn't actually do anything.
yeah. I don't think they can win, right? Their last card needed to be like Street Wave. No, that doesn't
But
work.
the
Oh,
problem is you can only get to one card at a time, right? Because you only have one card in hand.
you need. They need more life. They could with like Edge of Autumn, and if they were at 8 life, they could go down to 4 and then do like the deep analysis pile.
Oh, I see. So that's
That wins with
why
one card. And
that
like I don't think
I
I'm not
see.
even sure if they have deep analysis in their deck or whatever. So yeah, consider kills from one card if you have deep analysis in
Mhm.
their deck. But like they need 4 life for the deep analysis.
So I think I end up actually cutting the bolts because I don't think that's actually a good plan. You just need to draw a lot of bolts to make that plan good. I don't think you actually need Murktide. I don't think like you need a lot of threats versus them.
Um yeah, I agree with most of this.
And I
I
left in
could
all.
see I
Sorry.
could see cutting the Bora.
Oh
I mean
yeah,
it's a flash red, but like the Bora is kind of mopey.
I think I
Could
was
see
supposed to
cutting the
cut
Bora
it.
for
Yeah,
another Murktide.
yeah. I think
Or
that was supposed to happen.
maybe I was thinking about the Sanctuary, but now that I've thought about it, it's probably too slow.
Yeah, I don't think I would have in my
Doomsday, the
deck.
way that the games you lose against Doomsday are not like that. You lose them
Opponent,
early.
opponent Mew goes to 5 cards again. This person went 0-3. I kind of wonder if they mulliganed too much in the showcase. Like they were just over mulling their
It's
hands.
very rare that somebody mulligans too much. Most people
True.
mulligan too not enough.
Fair enough.
Like no, maybe they did. I'm just saying like that would be interesting
Hmm.
if they were if they were such a
Anyways,
person.
this hand's like pretty bonkers because like I have the threat I want to, which like that one like kind of destroys them, you know?
Oh, there's a Delver. That's great.
Yeah, and I think I'm supposed to
We
play
just
it.
cast Delver of Secrets.
Yep.
I have missed this card. Well, I played it before the ban too. But having 4 in your deck, having this.
It's kind of just a it's like it's not as good as Ragavan, of course, but it is a good card, right? Like
So okay, we have Ponder. We
I just
chose
want
to
to find a win.
brainstorm. I think brainstorming is correct for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Um,
So now I have to figure out what I'm supposed to do. I need to like maybe something like that's correct. Like I actually have probably too much action somehow,
I
which
would
is
probably put back either Iteration or Hull Breacher because they're expensive. Like you have so much interaction,
yeah,
don't you don't really need the Hull Breacher as a hate creature. It's not just a 3/2 flash red at this point because we have
right.
so much interaction. So we should just fetch. Oh, we could have like had Bobble in play maybe. No, I don't know. I feel like this is fine. What we did was fine.
So the someone's asking if I was supposed to brainstorm to flip the Delver. I don't think I was, but I should have thought about it more than I did.
You should definitely have thought about it, but yeah, I don't think you were because it's more important to it's definitely more important to just like filter until you have like how to say
An
well
overwhelming counter
X
wall.
yeah like
Yeah.
a good enough counter wall while also having enough mana to play around days. And for that you want maximum information first and then to have like a good brainstorm. Like you had the fetch line in play, so you could like
Yep.
upkeep brainstorm and then still fetch, so it wouldn't be that bad. But like that still means that you need to like fetch away an instant or sorcery, or that you like redraw a card. So both things are kind of bad. It's like
Hmm.
there's not many instant or sorceries that I want to shuffle away, right? So
Right.
duress that
And of course, I'm
resolves.
never countering this.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happens here, but I think my opponent like gets a little tilted that I have so much in my hand that interferes with their plan.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
No, I
like
think
my hand's basically perfect, right? Like,
yeah, no, that's it's pretty unbeatable.
oh yeah, I remember they typed too many huge cards. I did take a screenshot of that, not to shame them, but I guess now it's like posted.
It's
I don't.
funny
I'm not
that
even
they say
sure that's.
it's just funny that they say huge cards. They're not huge.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah, they
mean,
mulligan
to
a lot.
to be clear, like obviously my opponent got
Ooh.
unlucky, but it's
The third pyroblast, holy shit. I
yeah.
think I would cast Ponder here actually on odd iteration. I'm interested in what you did.
I think I maybe cast nothing. That's also
Oh, that's all.
reasonable.
That's also possible, but I think I would have cast Ponder.
It's
I
either
think that's
ponder or nothing. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's definitely not iteration.
oh, that's good
Yeah.
because like Wasteland is good.
I think just wasting them is better than playing a Volk, actually.
Yeah, I would have put the volcanic on top and not the bauble. I think because yeah, it's minor, but
Oh,
yeah,
is Volk the next card, or is Bobble the next card?
bauble is the next card. But because
Oh,
it
I
doesn't
see.
matter that you like play the land off the iteration because you have the bauble that you can play
Yeah,
off the iteration, right?
it's the
So it's
same
better to
thing,
play the land
right?
first in this situation, unless you really want to find Wasteland, which you didn't need to.
So,
But yeah, I think we played fine.
yeah, I mean, I did not play optimal, but my opponent had so few cards that I think it
Yeah,
mostly was fine.
it's hard for them to win and like with like in this matchup with this few cards.
All right, and I'm just speeding it up. Oh, right. So let's kneel.
If you dazed back your only land and had a massive
It's
delay,
because if it's the only
that's a
creature, it
huge
takes up
card.
it took up the like entire play space. Also,
Okay.
this hand is garbage. Like I don't even know why I thought so long.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this hand is probably a mulligan.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Like if it obviously there are certain matchups where that
This
would
is a
count big.
keep. You bottom bobble. Yeah, that's probably correct. I mean, you could make an argument for bottoming bolt as well, but I'd rather have the bolt with brainstorm in hand.
In the blind. Also, I looked at this person's results. Their only result was four color blink in modern, so I did not know what to think of that.
Yeah, they probably play some good deck then, or some Mimi deck.
Well, I'll give you a hint. I think the deck they play is not good. So
Oh, I would have considered. Oh yeah, we want to shuffle away the second wasteland probably. Yeah, that makes sense. No, brainstorm makes sense. Yeah,
yeah.
then we just search for like creature or force of will, because like they could also be a common. Like, yeah, we keep those. I think brainstorm third. Yeah,
I'm not surveilling away the brainstorm, so it's kind of weird, but I think that's also correct somehow. It's like a weird situation.
you
Maybe I
just you
do
just
want.
want to you just want to get the ball into the graveyard, right?
Yeah, it's
But it's
fair.
correct because like you want to like use the ball before you cast the brainstorm, so it's I think it's correct. But
Oh, I
oh, you still wrote
noted.
it away.
I was
I'm
wondering if
not,
I
I'm
was
not
gonna
sure I would
just.
have done that because we don't exactly know what they are yet.
I
Also, not
had
sure if we would have
I
played the
no
wasteland.
now I remember. I had Jeskai Breacher vibes here. I don't know
Oh,
why.
okay.
Well,
But
mostly
that's
because they
still,
went Tarn. Yeah,
but I would still keep the brainstorm then. That
sure.
incentivizes me even more to keep brainstorm because brainstorm is
Yeah,
good against control.
true.
Like there's like one of the ways you lose against control is by making too many land drops and having too many situative
Hmm.
cards. Obviously, brainstorm is awkward into Hull Breacher. What we have days and bolt here, so it shouldn't be that much of an issue. Yeah, I think you're also supposed to keep the wasteland in your hand because like showing
Okay.
them the wasteland, like it doesn't really accomplish anything, right? Like the only thing playing without wasteland here does is they can't like play something off a dual end of turn or something.
Hmm.
Okay, they ending seems fine.
I don't know why I evolved with them
Okay,
there, but
well now we know they have breacher vibes.
yeah. But also
Well,
like
it gave
when
us a lot of
yeah,
information. Yeah, I don't know what the correct timing for Bobble is here, but it doesn't really
sure.
matter. Are we
I think you have to
shuffling?
shuffle.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
shuffling,
just
and then it
too
just,
bad. Like the problem is, if I had a threat, I would probably keep the spell pierce because that's actually really good for some. But I am not really doing anything. I'm just kind of like, oh, I didn't play out this wasteland.
yeah, I don't
Okay,
know.
that's kind of weird. I played out the first wasteland, but not the second.
Well, you could draw a brainstorm to brainstorm it away, but yeah, we
Yeah,
moved the brainstorm. So
yeah.
it's funny.
Milling that brainstorm, I think, now that I think about it more and more, is like pretty bad. I think.
Probably, yeah. Well, especially when you don't know what deck they are, or if you think they're control, I think just having brainstorm in your hand, like for whatever number of turns, it's just fine. Especially when you already have a threat, right?
Yeah, it might just be like
If
a
you have,
turn 10
yeah,
plus brainstorm.
yeah. Okay, there's an Narset. They fetched first. Oh, that's because of brainstorm. Okay, I thought they were like playing around the waste days trick.
The
They were.
classic historic trick of never activating your Norse set. Well, I guess with the Ragavan on or the DRC on board, it makes sense.
I'm not sure they are supposed to do that here, even.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It depends a lot on their hand, but obviously I'm just gonna kill it right away because like,
Yeah, we're milling the smirk that I think.
and now I'm wasting them.
Yeah, casting Wander, I think.
Yep.
Mill this again, yeah. I think it's fine to get the Force of Will, yeah. Playing a Wasteland is also fine because we have days.
Oh, Louis suggests maybe I could have stacked the ponder other way, so I used brainstorm to mill the bauble. That actually probably would have been better, but
Oh, maybe that was better, yeah.
yeah.
Might be correct,
Oh,
yeah.
also Louis won the showcase with Yorian Death and Taxes. So,
Oh, I didn't know. Congrats.
do you force this?
No.
Yeah, I
Who
also
cares?
don't.
It's a 3-2 in my book.
Well, I care if a Days Undoing gets put on the stack, obviously, but
Then you have to force the Days Undoing, yeah.
yeah.
You don't have cards anyway. Like if you force the Days Undoing, you have like what? They just discard one. Like they draw.
Well, they get 7
Yeah.
treasures, right?
Oh, they get a lot of treasures. Yeah, I guess so.
The treasures definitely matter.
Yeah, they do matter. Yeah, I forgot that they get treasures. Oh, you have to counter this as well.
Yep. I think pitching the Murktide is actually correct, but maybe not.
Oh, is it? I'm not sure.
Oh, actually, maybe that was a mistake too.
What is the reason to like keep the days here? Actually, like
Yeah,
what
no.
are they likely to play here? Like, oh, they have Flusterstorm.
Oh, I'm so smart. I think I actually had thought about this. I remember seeing the list had like a million Flusterstorms.
Oh, okay. I would not have known that they have
Okay,
Flusterstorm in
sure.
their deck.
Yeah, so I actually think that's why I did it because I remember they had like 2 or 3 Flusters in their main, and if you pitch
Yeah,
the Murktide, if you pitch the Days, and then that happens to you, I think you're kind of like dead.
I agree. Yeah.
Why didn't we
No, then
hardcast
the
Days?
Murktide is also just bad against the Teferi. Like, what if they
Yeah.
forced through the Teferi? Then they, well, I guess they would just bounce the DRC. I don't know.
So now I'm hoping. Well, that's really bad for me because I drew the
Yeah.
worst possible card, and now I can't attack because I have no graveyard. I
Oh
think
damn.
I think if I actually drew a ponder, I would just cast it to try to hit Delirium.
Yeah, I agree.
Not playing around Bile Blight. Well, if my opponent casts Bile Blight and their Jeskai deck off 2 treasures, they got me.
I think yeah, they would be geniuses to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that they had the Undoing, but what am I going to do? Let Teferi resolve? Like, the days might not even be good the turn after. So, yeah, I just cast the Brainstorm here as a Hail Mary to try to kill them. I think it actually is correct. But now that I hit, well, I did not hit Delirium, so I'm basically dead.
Yeah, I don't think you're winning this game.
Well, I have to put this thing on top of my deck. Oh, you know why I didn't concede yet? I was hoping to cast the Murktide and kill them.
Oh yeah, you can cast it next turn.
But obviously, like, this is probably not going to work for many reasons.
Yeah. Well, you could also just see what's in their deck by keeping on playing. That they need to kill you somehow, so they need to like show you some cards.
If they can't kill me with like 14 treasures and it's another or a different 7-card hand, I question a lot about their deck.
No, you definitely lose. I'm just saying,
Oh,
like,
so now they can just draw step days and doing me, which is like even more toxic.
deck is very toxic when it gets to do their thing.
I mean, fortunately, I don't think it actually gets to do their thing very often in this matchup. It's just that this game, I don't even know what happened. Maybe I just like didn't play great. Probably.
I think actually just this brainstorm mill thing might have done the most harm. Because
Yeah,
like you would have been able to shuffle away 2 wastelands and just have more cards before all this shit happened.
fair enough. That was probably it then. Yeah, I played out too many lands and got punished.
Yeah, sort of.
Milling the bolt. I think it's fine to mill the bolt. I think it's really hard to like actually burn your opponent out in this
Yeah,
matchup.
I thought about keeping the bolt for Hull Breacher, but you kind of need like you kind of want to like we had days in your hand at that point, I think, or like something else. So like I wasn't too. Right, we had some interaction, I think, so we didn't need it. You can like stack your hand up with interaction only. Definitely need to like be doing things as well.
So actually, now I remember I didn't concede because I thought there was a chance I would just draw 2 bolts and they ran out of counters or whatever. Like, I'm playing for like the 0.01% or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
Surprised I been the last iteration. Um,
We had like a wasteland in play and a walk, so like would have been like an anticipate. I don't know. It's not that enticing. I mean, we could have kept the iteration. Would have triggered some DRCs. Don't think it mattered that much, but yeah, maybe we were supposed to do that.
so now I literally have to draw like bolt, and for them to have no
I
deck.
like how all 4 DRCs are in exile.
Yeah, it is kind of funny, but
Yeah, because like you're not gonna cast iteration the turn after, right?
right. I believe if I do not draw a bolt this turn, I lose.
Oh,
So,
maybe you keep the iteration because
mhm.
you just play anticipate with 3 surveils, right? That seems fine.
Yeah, maybe that was the fuck up actually. In any case, I think it went awry definitely when I milled the brainstorm. That was just not good.
Yeah.
Oh, also, okay, this might sound toxic, but I have seen a non-zero number of these games go to time.
Oh yeah, like you're no, it's fine to play for time versus these decks. I think you also were like in a situation where like you could have like like
I can draw a
whole,
removal
whole
spell,
yeah,
and
you could like kill their Hull Breacher at some point. Maybe it was definitely fine to just play on. I think.
chain lightning is definitely
Um,
not very good.
no. Let's see.
So my position is I don't think the creatures matter that much in this matchup. Like,
Well, Murktide region is definitely very fragile because they have
yeah,
Plow, Pyroblast, and
hmm,
Teferi, so I can definitely see shaving on them.
right,
I would side out some Wastelands.
yeah, because the way that
I would
they
probably bring
play,
the Sanctuary. Oh yeah, well, you brought the Sanctuary.
yeah. So
And then
the
like cut 1 bolt. Yeah, that seems
right.
fine. Maybe I would have like another Merc. I guess we have Cord and Hull Breacher. I'd probably not cut 3 Murktides, maybe like 2 only. It's like I guess I
Mhm.
would like cut another Wasteland for one more spell for another Murktide. I don't feel like Wasteland does much in this matchup. Like they play 3 colors, but they like focus on fetching basics. They're mostly blue white with like a slight splash.
Is Borrower a lot better in the last Murktide? No. I think like Borrower just doesn't hit very hard is the issue. And it's bad
I
for Shark
mean,
Typhoon.
the one problem with Bora is that it's just so expensive.
Mhm.
Like bouncing their Murktide doesn't really do anything, and you can't bounce Teferi and Stab. Um,
So someone asked if I was worried about running out of win cons if I side out like this. And the answer is not really. Like you just have so many.
I would definitely cut another Wasteland for another Merc. I
Yeah,
just
that's
think
reasonable.
Wasteland is not that good in this matchup, and you have like
Right.
you have enough lands to just play your spells, so like
Mm-hmm.
don't really need Wasteland. Oh,
This is
this
almost
is
perfect, actually. Yeah,
seems pretty
and
good.
you
Yeah,
stack it that way so you can get all of it.
so you get the flip.
Yep. Classic ponder things. Also, I really think Court is like so hard for their deck to beat if you just slam it on curve with like days backup or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Genki says nerf ponder. That will not be happening.
Yeah, we played Delver.
Yeah.
I think we just passed because we want to reveal the days,
Yeah.
right? Oh, you just cast Brainstorm. That's kind of interesting too, but then you put back Surgical and Fetch. Yeah, I don't really see like a reason to cast Brain.
I think this was actually bad now that I think about it.
So no, I mean, so it's complicated because like it's your only fetch land, so yeah, the reason why I don't like casting Brainstorm is we know we are going to draw days, so you
Yeah,
only see two new
exactly.
cards.
Yep.
And I think the reason why you might have done it is because you wanted the third land for the court, which makes sense. But like we already know that we draw an on land, so I would have just waited and just accepted that we probably don't cast court next turn.
Yeah, I'm definitely not casting it here into like a Pyroblast when they can have like whatever.
Those cards are good though.
Yeah, I think I just put the power into my hand and reveal an iteration to Delver and just wait
Yeah,
for them to get out of position so I can slam court, essentially. And their deck
yeah.
has so many 3-drops that this is very likely to happen. Obviously, don't care about that.
Still Cloud Delver.
And
Another
them,
jam something. That's they're dead now.
yeah, I mean,
Now you just jam court. You definitely draw the iteration, but because it's just a good card to draw, I think.
I
Oh wow,
decided
wow.
not to. This
Maybe
was,
maybe the reason is that you wanted like a land.
yeah, I think that was, but I'm not sure that's even good. Like,
I would have drawn the iteration. It's just too good. I feel like you had days anyway to protect
yeah,
it, right? So
and they don't
I,
have,
I can get behind the land being good, but you're also
yeah.
not guaranteed to draw a land. And iteration seems like a better card than like a random card.
Well, iteration's better than any other non-land card, but I think
Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
land
they
this.
just don't have a land.
So what I can do is actually just put Pyro on top and daze back the Sanctuary as well. And I think it's really, really hard for them to win from
I
here.
know they're dobs.
And this is
They're
like,
dobs, especially because we have the second days as well. Narset
this,
is not very good against Delver.
no, especially like, you just saw how broken Daze is versus them, and Sanctuary plus Daze is even like kind of giga broken. If you just get that much value out of Sanctuary, they can never win.
Yeah. Just resubmit. Yeah. I would still do the like -1 waste and plus some I
Yeah,
think. But
but
other than that, I think I would also just play this.
yeah. I think the reason I didn't was I was like operating under the idea that I have 2 3-drops on my deck, so maybe you want the third
Oh, you
waste.
wanted an extra land. Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe. If you had like more courts and shit, maybe the wasteland was fine.
So I kept this one because I think just Pyro is so insane versus them, but obviously I could have flooded out and died. But I think
Well,
Delver's
it's
a
fine
really,
because you have brainstorm. I would have kept two because you have brainstorm. Same
yeah.
way. I mean,
And Delver's obviously a
that's
very good draw. I just want to like,
sometimes you're just at the mercy of brainstorm not drawing lands. That's just the thing. Blue player things.
yeah. So there's a lot of this Breacher deck in this tournament.
I wonder why.
People saw it doing well, and they're just like, yeah, Delver's worse now, and I'm just like, the Delver is worse, but not necessarily versus you. Like the reasons they're
Not
good for,
yeah. You definitely still our favorite against Breacher. So like, yeah.
I mean, Daze is just giga broken versus them because their deck is like 9,003 drops. And I
I
think
agree.
once you have Daze and Pyroblast, I really think you win most of the games where you just draw like 2 of that type of effect, essentially. because you just trade up on mana so much that it's hard for them to
Yeah,
get anywhere.
people have been hating on Days a lot, but would it really be better than letting these fools play these stupid decks? No.
No, like I mean,
Nobody likes this nonsense.
do people like show and tell? Like Days also sort of keeps that in check to some degree. I mean, not to
I
mention
don't
that
know.
Sneak and Show plays Days a lot of the time,
I have
so
outed myself as a Days stan. Now I'll go to jail.
you'll get to know. Another Power Blast is obviously an excellent draw as well.
I would definitely cast Brainstorm here. I
I
think that's a
thought about
spew
it.
because they
Yeah,
might Pyroblast it at some point.
sure.
I don't know. I would just be scared. Maybe it's not because like they could have like, but I just don't know how their deck is constructed. They might have like some.
Hmm.
They might have like
Yeah.
some
See, if I
phase or backup or whatever.
if I end up casting it there, I was definitely supposed to main
Yeah,
phase it.
if you end up casting it anyway, I think you were
Yeah,
supposed to main phase it.
and I get that out of respect for a
Yeah,
certain card we will not
I
say the name
definitely,
of.
definitely get the basic element there. Yeah,
Dude, Blood Moon sucks.
Force of Will doesn't really keep them in check. Oh, I guess you mean sneak in check. Yeah, I guess show and tell would be kept in check by Force of Negation.
I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to cast that Brainstorm, but I wanted to set up my
I think you
Delver.
are. I think you are because your hand is only interaction. You kind of want to
Yeah.
find like basically you want to Xerox into more iterations,
Hmm.
creatures, and whatever. You didn't necessarily have cards that you wanted to put back, but I think just for the sake of like, well, I guess it depends on like they had 4 mana up, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you weren't supposed because they could like Hull Breacher plus Fluster your Pyroblast or something, but then you would still have days. I don't know. It was probably safe to cast it. We let that go, obviously. Then yeah, then we fetch and cast Ponder.
This is kind of
Uh,
interesting.
I would
Yeah.
keep, but it might like be problematic if we like find no lands.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I guess
think.
it's fine if we just find like any castable spell or a land. So yeah, I
Mhm.
definitely keep those. Yeah, then you cast that. They might Pyroblast that. If they do that, I would just let it resolve. I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't bother fighting. I don't think that's actually that important. Because if I get any fetch, I can just put it back on top, you know?
They're also like just one card down, and like
Yeah.
any land they draw is bad for them, sort of.
I remember you used to like stay on 4 lands in the Miracle Mirrors, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
So you're
It's
you're
just a legacy thing that like playing out lands is kind of bad in legacy. I don't know. I mean, it's not true. It's not true. It's like there's so many different decks. Like in a lot of other decks, playing out your lands is definitely correct. But just like with like brainstorm and like all these selection things, or like when you had
Mhm.
Census Divining Top, it's just a way to like get ahead on cards, and like it's kind of a cheaty way to get ahead on cards and just stop playing lands. Like you know these situations where like 2 players play against each other in like limited, and like one like floods out to like
Yep.
land number 7, 8, and the other person just stays on 5 lands or 4 lands the whole game. They just have more spells, so like that's like the same strategy, you know. So only that you can like sort of manipulate it in
Mhm.
legacy sometimes.
So here, like, since nothing's going on, I assume their hand's just like full of removal spells because there's not a lot
Yeah.
that their hand can actually be. I think paying the 2 life is actually free. I don't
Yeah, I
think.
think shocking that heads up for the shock there. Some people would have played it that I think, and I think it would have been not correct. Oh yeah, then we play Dersey, and then you go, yeah,
I'm playing the plan by this point is to surgical with their prismatic endings because I think they're almost a lock to have one in hand.
that makes sense. No, that makes a lot of sense. That play.
Surgical, like it's a bit of a meme that it's overboarded, but I think versus these decks it's actually pretty good, and you just have to use it like correctly, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Or this is Cabal therapy for surge or for prismatic ending, and I think they have one.
0 mana instant speed. It doesn't matter too much here because we don't have anything to cast.
No, it doesn't. It costs us 2 life, which actually is not irrelevant, but I just want to see what's up. Like, also just seeing their hand here, I think is like actually pretty powerful.
Oh yeah, we definitely Power Blast
Yeah,
bad.
I'm not letting them have snap for like basically no reason. That's just, and I'm definitely keeping
Ooh,
that.
nice card on top.
Oh, Kellum says, yeah, Cabal Therapy should cost 0 mana and be instant speed.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Ding.
Good gameplay.
And I took a screenshot because like I can't remember.
Ding ding.
And look at their hand. It's so like they had to leave in a days. They had to leave in days undoing for me. I don't know if that's correct.
Yeah,
No,
I
okay,
don't
it
know
is.
either. Maybe you have to the way the deck is constructed. I don't know enough about this deck to be honest.
Yeah,
So
I
it
don't.
seems like they don't have back to basics, but they have Blood Moon. In fact, multiples.
I don't really care about Blood Moon. I think if it gets cast, I might just let it go. Like, who cares? I guess it shuts off Sanctuary, which is kind of a beat, but yeah, I'm definitely got my hands like literally all counter spells. I actually thought about keeping that, but I think it's just like kind of not what you want.
Um. Yeah.
I mean, I was just so likely to see another fetch. That was the reason. Like,
Yeah. Definitely. Don't really want that.
Vuk
Yeah, it
combo
could
the
be.
Delver.
It could be correct to leave them in. I don't know. I don't. Maybe you're like so bad at winning the game that you need that. Like that's not like an insult to the deck or anything. I just feel like, how do you actually end the game? Is it by attacking with snapcasters, or do you like kill them with like a shark typhoon or whatever? Or
Right.
like, do you always need to kill them with Hull Breacher? If that's the case, that's really easy to prevent because they can just
Mm-hmm.
pyroblast your win con. So maybe you need like more haymaker spells that way. I don't know. It's definitely possible.
I forgot that these games last forever.
They do, yeah.
Well, sorry, they don't last forever if someone immediately dies, but this one is like kind of. This is what you're referring to. Like our opponent's floating out a little bit. We've cast an iteration or two. We have a lot
Yeah,
of
that's just the
spells.
the downside. The downside of playing decks that need like like more than like 4 lands out or something is exactly this happening in Legacy. Their deck doesn't necessarily need that many lands out, but they need like the first three, and then the fourth one to play around phase sometimes, and then the fifth one to play interaction of 3 drop and so on. So like they need a lot of lands, whereas we're just we're just kind of fine
And I think I
having
can just even put.
another duration on top. Yeah, I
I,
agree.
hmm. Actually, I wonder if I'm supposed to just put Pyroblast on top. Now
It's
that I think.
definitely Power Blast or
Yeah, I
Iteration.
mean, it didn't look like I even considered the Pyro when I should have, but also believe my opponent's like Giga dead this game, so
You liked Mentor a lot in this deck. Yeah, I mean, Mentor is definitely a decent win condition because you
so
can like slow roll it. Oh yeah, here I
I
think you're
actually have
supposed
to
to.
because the Sanctuary is just better than what they have going on, right?
Yeah,
And I accidentally
yeah,
resize it while clicking.
yeah.
And obviously I'm not doing that. And they actually chose this turn to initiate because they knew I wouldn't surveil that card away, which is actually pretty smart, I think.
That makes sense. Yeah,
How many iterations is too many?
there's never too many iterations.
So I think I just daze this to pick up the Sanctuary.
Also, another surveil.
Yeah.
Oh, you chose to just counter it completely. Maybe that's correct. Yeah, I like that honestly. Yeah, I also like to keep the force.
Well, they have to crack both of their fetches. They take 2 more damage. They don't. They can't
Yeah,
like maximize a brainstorm. and then I can daze it picking up the Sanctuary, which sort of works out the way I want it to, right?
How come you counter that? Well, they go really low, and we get to use our Sanctuary again, right?
Yeah.
I think it's probably, I don't know if he was trolling there or not, because you never know what Callum Smith MTG has in his
Yeah,
mind.
you never know actually.
Oh, you played out the Sanctuary?
I think this was a mistake. What I was supposed to do is brainstorm the Sanctuary
Yeah,
backhand and
you
just play
just
the
flip
fetch.
it back into your backend and like I
I
think that's what I would have done, but I'm not sure because like that you kind of force yourself to cast a brainstorm there. Maybe it's close actually. I don't
yeah.
know. I get Dazer buying the Sanctuary.
Their last card I don't think can be good. Oh
Yeah, I mean,
wait, did I put Pyro on top? I guess I did,
yeah,
right?
I
Oh
think you
yeah,
did.
it makes sense because I don't really need more cards. I just need to counter every single spell they play for the like last 2 turns of this game. You know?
That's fine. The only card that lets him survive here would be Supreme Verdict. There is no Supreme Verdict.
I don't think their deck actually plays it. I think that's actually a
Nobody plays
weakness of the
Supreme
deck.
Verdict.
The deck has no sweepers. There were like very few sweepers in the tournament period. So yeah,
I
I
like Supreme Verdict against Delver specifically.
so Dom has an interesting point that having to leave in Days Undoing versus Delver means he thinks the deck might be misbuilt.
Oh yeah, probably.
Because that's just like very awkward. Like I don't think it really works out very well. All right, do
Yeah,
you know who Wiki is?
I know. And oh yeah, Wiki is
Yes,
definitely a good control player.
only plays Jeskai decks or Swords to Plowshares control decks.
Pretty good control player.
So I was under
Verdict is
assumption,
not.
yeah.
Everyone hates Verdict, and every time I tell Anorak to put Verdict in his control deck, he hates me.
So
Like,
I kept this hand versus the opponent just because it has a lot of spells. It's not an insane hand, but I think it's a fine hand versus them.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, obviously, I could just like never draw a land or a cantrip and lose, but I think I would actually rather keep this than going to 6 cards when I know they're basically Jeskai or blue white or whatever, you know.
I think you're supposed to, yeah, cast Ponder there.
So I almost didn't do it because I was a coward, but I'm like, nah, it's just correct to play the ponder because this is so much better, right?
Yeah, I almost say you're a coward if you.
if I
Well, it's if you cast a Ponder because like you kind of like you could be fine just playing the DRC. Like if you didn't have the Ponder there, it
right,
would be okay. But like just the upside of hitting a land is so high. So yeah.
yeah, we got a big raid from a modern trophy grinder, Misplaced Ginger.
Misplaced Ginger, yeah.
I haven't seen that. I mean, he recently came back to MDGO, I think.
I have seen that name in the modern trophy leader board. I think
So
he's quite high
yeah,
there.
shout out. That iteration obviously missing on spell is bad. This is not great either. I'm not feeling great about my chances, but I
No,
think
that's fine. Yeah.
I think I decide that I should just cast the brainstorm. I'm just like, well, this is also not good, but at least the
I'm
bauble is
not,
sort of
I'm not, I'm not, I'm not sure about this brainstorm. I just, I just
Hmm.
don't really see a reason to cast it. I don't know. I feel like, I feel like your next turn is gonna be Murktide anyway.
Mhm.
Oh, I guess you didn't have enough cards to like.
Right.
Oh, didn't we like have the bauble before? Oh, there's another main deck cluster storm.
But when I see the main deck cluster, I am thinking the same sort of deck as I saw before. Note, I didn't actually delve all my stuff because I expect this to die.
Yeah, I think I should probably would have like left the sorcerer integrator because we have so many
Okay,
instants.
sure.
But like that's minor. And I feel like yeah, no, maybe casting a brainstorm was correct since you didn't have enough cards for the Murktide otherwise. Yeah.
And like by this point, I feel like I'm gonna lose because I just don't have like these dazes are really awful. Actually, like they're basically not cards by this point, right?
I agree, yeah.
Casting
Definitely.
Brainstorm.
It's very unlikely that we get to double days something
Yeah.
here.
Ben Weinberg says casting Brainstorm always wrong until it's right. I'm not sure. Like, I think that sentiment has aged not great, honestly. But
It really depends. It's just
yeah,
like being mana efficient nowadays, now with like your DRC and shit and whatever, it's
Mhm.
definitely correct to just fire off your brainstorms early. But like, yeah,
I'm going to speed it up a little bit more because I forgot how glacial these control matchups go. Obviously, I think just forcing this is. Oh, actually,
yeah.
maybe forcing this isn't even correct, but I ended up doing it.
Oh, they had 3 cards only in hand.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't force it, how does it play out? They plow your Murktide. They already played their land. You could double days a plow. Oh, I think you were not supposed to force it actually, but that's
Yeah.
interesting. Because like, if they had a plow, you could actually use your dazes finally, and then the Narset is just an impulse because you attack it. It's like impulse plus fog.
So I actually didn't. If you
Oh,
notice,
you
I didn't
spent
attack it, and I attacked them. But if I was going to do that, I should just chain lightning the Narset first.
yeah, because you don't know if it's
Yeah.
resolving or not. So
Yeah. A little bit. What's the best way of putting it? That is definitely a mistake. Rather.
yeah, that's just a technical error. But like, yeah, well, like the other thing, like with not countering the Narset, I think you were supposed to let it resolve simply because
Okay.
there was actually a window where like your dazes were relevant for a turn, so
Mm-hmm.
might have just killed the Narset for free or like chain lightning it anyway. Yeah, that's also good. Now we can use our dazes.
Yep.
It's funny how I thought that the dazes would be bad the whole game, but they
So
still end up
so
mattering.
I actually thought here. I realized it was correct not to daze.
Why though?
Do you see it? Murktite's just lethal.
Oh yeah, you just cast Murktide
Yeah,
with it.
and
Yeah,
if they cast a
yeah.
plow, you can daze that instead. So that's
Oh,
why I
that makes
didn't
sense.
daze. I
Oh,
stared at it
because
for a
we put
second. Yeah,
because we put another days into our graveyard. I
exactly.
see. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. No, I didn't count the cards in our graveyard.
No, it's okay. I mean,
Um,
I just was like, I'm like, wait, hold on. I shouldn't daze this because they're actually dead if I don't. So, do I have a one
yeah.
of Stifle? No, I hate that card so much. Of course, Weinberg wants me to play Stifle. Mr. Canadian Thresh over here. So, I actually forgot a very key thing about Wiki and his playstyle, and I don't know if you'll figure it out.
Well, I would not side out all these bulls.
Okay, you did not fall into the trap I did. Because you know one of his favorite cards, don't you?
Monastery Mentor.
Yeah, and no spoilers, but that is about to be very important in this game. And
Yeah.
I don't
So
really have a good way to deal with it once it's on the board.
yeah, you have a Brazen Borer and you have forces and datas. So
And this hand sucks. And this hand's like
this
fine.
this hand is fine. Yeah, put back walk.
But you know what this hand's really soft to?
Monastery Mentor.
Yeah, it's fucking it's just yeah, I mean like once it
Where's Minotaur?
yeah, I mean, like, I was asking for this by siding like this, unfortunately. Like, I basically was taking a huge risk for not much gain, I think.
Oh, I definitely would cast a Ponder there. I think. Don't really see a reason to not. Oh, Delver is good.
So
Now
the
you definitely
reason
leave up.
yeah, I want to leave up both because of Flusterstorm, essentially.
I see. Yeah. No, that's definitely fine.
Yeah. PRC. Do I want to draw that is the question.
I
Mine was
don't think
conclusion.
so.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I don't
We are
really.
constrained by red mana. Is the problem?
I'm really constrained by red mana, and I think this is simply a shuffle.
Uh, Not actually sure. I think I would have kept it actually
Interesting.
and drawn the Delver and just pass. And then our Delver flips on iteration. They have to kill a Delver because it's a 3/2, and then we play another Delver with 2 blasts up. Seems fine to me.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't do that, but maybe I should have.
It
Also, what
just
did?
was like another
Yeah,
threat, and like obviously not having the third red is a problem, but if you play another threat, it's fine to just have two blasts up because they might have to play into
right.
them anyway. Oh,
So
what do you put back here? Probably one blast.
yeah, the problem is I don't have enough red.
It's blast and days
Oh
probably,
boy, yeah. And I think
or
I'm
like
so
or like probably
yeah.
reverse order. I think.
I also think
Oh,
I'm
you. Okay,
whoa. This is
that's
super
sus.
not good, I think actually.
Yeah, that's I don't know. This is like
I should have
playing.
just tapped out, I think.
And we also fetched away the iteration. Yeah, I don't know. Something went wrong here.
This was I'm watching this now, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is makes no sense.
Also, we are keeping all the daisies. I mean, the daisies are fine, but like,
Hmm.
I would have definitely not like. Yeah, I would have definitely just played the Delver, right? And then like, just kept the iteration on top.
Yeah. Also, like, why did they EOT brainstorm on like turn 4? Because they just didn't have
Uh,
lands, I guess.
because their hand is a million three drops, Jarvis, as you
Oh
already
yeah,
said
right,
it.
right. Their hands
Oh
always have
no,
like
because it's simple. Because they wanted to put something into your graveyard for its Snapcaster Mage, right?
oh yeah, yeah, that's
Because
fair.
they're constrained by their
Hmm.
max hand size, so they want to play something. So they need to
Sure.
play their Snapcaster Mage. It sort of makes sense. Yeah, as crazy as it is, I think we ended up shuffling away a Pyroblast that maybe would have been better than Daze, which is funny because like the fourth Pyroblast seems like uncastable, but Dazes are so mediocre. I don't know.
So I decided not to cast anything because I think just drawing another land means I can make a much better move.
I agree. Oh, I think we could have cast Ponder too. Oh, maybe not. Maybe casting Ponder is wrong. That's interesting. Okay. Also, they have to move first. They have to play a land or cast a cantrip because there would have been a 8 cards there. I think it's fine to not cast anything there.
Hmm.
Okay, DRC. DRC are definitely bad in this spot.
I'm kind of just clogged up with like cards that are honestly not very good, and that's an easy
This
shuffle.
was definitely a shuffle. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's not even that appealing to draw either. And I'm like,
Like,
I'm actually thrilled that they use a plow on that Delver because I'm like, I don't think that card ever matters. Like,
yeah, it probably doesn't matter too much. What's the argument to not cast Ponder? Well, it's like you kind of want to have a fifth land, but you don't want to like ponder and keep a fifth land. You just want to see if you draw a spell or a land and then ponder. Kind of. It's like that's probably the reason for not casting ponder. I don't know. I would probably still have cast it though.
fair enough. Yeah, because I'm so close to discarding on all of these turn cycles. I
Yeah,
don't have
yeah,
lands. I don't even really have a very good hand by this point, actually. It's kind of
yeah.
weird that I've gotten into this situation.
You're kind of like in a messy situation. Yeah,
Well, I'm mustard choked on colors because I decided to put Basic Island in my deck.
that is true.
Like, I
Or
could have just
not.
very easily not put Basic Island. Like, that could be Steam Vents, then I would have no color issues, but
I agree with that. Yeah, but that's why I liked keeping the one ponder with the
sure.
Delver, because like then you just got to use your island mana the next turn with like the second Delver and left up two Power Blasts while pressuring them.
Does losing Ragavan mean we want an extra land list? I think if you play two baubles and the current set of cantrips, I don't think you actually need to add a land. But I do sideboard Sanctuary in pretty often. Like, I'm currently at 18 lands versus opponent, but I've cut a Wasteland for the Sanctuary. So I go up on colored sources and slightly down on lands.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, fuck. This is where I remembered that Wiki likes to play this way. And I'm like, now I'm fucked.
view sideboard.
Yeah, you
Very-
know what I'm thinking about. And now I'm just
view
like, oh
sideboard.
shit, we got to
Disaster.
yeah,
Disaster.
we got to take action now, unfortunately.
Yeah,
And that includes like aggro surveilling and to try to like hit a real game plan, right? Like I'm not
yeah.
allowed to sit around and just die, essentially, you know? But now I'm just like,
It's
okay.
kind of it's kind of tragic that we like had so much time to play this chord and chose to never cast it because we were waiting for the second pyroblast backup, and then then they just cast a card that just beats chord.
Yeah,
It's
and
kind
then
of
now, yeah, now I'm just like, this chord is really fucking bad. Like, it's not going to work.
yeah, we're in trouble.
I mean, I think I basically played this game not great, and I'm dying because of it. So
Yeah, I don't think their deck is very good against Delver.
I
It's
don't
just
think so
like
either. It's just this game, the way I chose to play it, it didn't work out very well. Which is obviously my problem. And oh, they ran a pyroblast into my days, which was really weird. Or wait, what happened?
oh no, they countered your
Oh
brainstorm with
yeah,
pyroblast.
okay, yeah. I never mind. I
What
got
is this?
confused.
Teferi, another mentor.
I mean, I'm never beating the first mentor if they have a plow, and I don't think I'm beating a second mentor even if they don't have plow. I think perhaps.
Probably yeah.
I mean, maybe if Murktide hits them twice, which is like the only out, and they're already down one plow, but
Is keeping a force to try to stick a merchant here reasonable? I thought about that, but the problem with that is that like
and then he
whoever
shows me fucking Eoc Trickery. I'm like, what?
trigger it,
Why are we playing that in our deck? And then
I
there's a
don't know.
plow, and I'm
Ragavan is banned. I don't know. I mean, it kills the one
and look at
drops when they're
this.
not turned on. Oh,
Look at
but
this boomer Jeskai deck that we got over here.
we got a lot of information at least.
Yeah.
So the problem with like keeping the forces there is that I mean you could do that, but I don't think that Murktide necessarily raises the mentor there. So you need more than just the Murktide is the problem. Basically, I feel like you're so behind that you need like to find multiple threats to
Mm-hmm.
like raise them. I don't know. Maybe you can keep a force there. I don't know.
So
It's
I could
close.
borrower and another Murktide for 2 bolts versus Wiki, so that shit doesn't happen again.
Yeah,
I could have more bolts, but I kind of think bolt is not that good, except if we get into the scenario that I was exactly in.
I would definitely just still cut it one another wasteland for any other spell like
Sure.
Murktide or Gold. It's just like this. I just I only want to draw like the first wasteland so that I can like play my court or my Hull Breacher. I never want to draw a second one in this matchup. The second
Fair.
wasteland doesn't do anything, right? So like I would rather have two than three.
Does that change versus Bant? Is the real question.
Yes, against
Okay.
band, wasteland gets much better
Yeah.
because of Uro.
Yep. I think I'm just priced into keeping all of those.
I actually might have drawn the Sanctuary. Oh, you can just ponder. No, yeah, it's fine.
You see me thinking
Yeah,
emoji. And now I definitely want to play the Sanctuary this turn.
yeah, I agree now. Just put the force on bottom, I think. Okay, so we chose to not draw the Hellbreacher.
Oh, that's weird. Why did I do that?
I don't know.
That doesn't seem very good now that I'm looking at this.
No. Because you definitely want to cast it so that you can just cast iteration next turn, right? So,
Mhm.
like, no matter if they answer it or not, right? You just want to cast it and stuff. Oh, it's
I,
funny that they waited a turn cycle to cast a cantrip, and then we draw Hellbreacher and kind of mind gamed them by not drawing it or not casting it.
I guess I don't know. This certainly worked out better for me. I think.
Because you saw like they were not doing anything because they're like you left up 3 mana and they're like, okay, maybe my opponent has Hullbreacher. Or maybe I don't need to cast a spell because I have 7 cards. And the next turn I cast Ponder and we have Hullbreacher. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, they're like trying to fish really hard for a plow or a power blast there. Or like resolve their brainstorm at least.
They just
Oh, they just let it go or what?
and I'm just like,
That,
I was thinking
yeah,
about it for a while. I'm like, this is really weird. What the hell is going on? Like,
they're kind of dead now. I don't know.
do I even want to? I mean, I guess I cast this because if they blast,
Yeah, you want to cast it. I
and
would just, huh? Yeah, maybe the land is good. I don't know.
I,
It's close between the land and the Delver there, because like you
right.
have red mana anyway, but the land means that you can bounce your sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
I think the land is better than Delver.
Yep,
Yeah.
kind of close. And they have to go to discard. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Well, the answer is obviously that they had drawn 2 vistas, and they have to fetch like this.
Oh
Well,
god.
I guess they had to fetch. I don't know, and obviously they can't cast that cantrip
What
into.
the heck is their hand that they just
It might just
die
be
to the
like 6 cantrips, right? Like something like that.
Yeah, that's funny.
I mean, I'm just thinking about this game. I'm just like, what does this mean? And I'm just like, their hands probably like no, their hands probably cantrips and like white removal spells. It can't really be much else, right? 6 cantrips and they didn't have 3 islands in their deck. Maybe they fetched Mountain to try to. Um. Okay, well, I'm
That's so
never.
free. Now you get really rewarded for like taking the fourth land there. So like next turn you can just put iteration on top and it's great.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why they fetched red. Maybe they had blast and they just didn't want to cast it into days, and then they didn't cast it the next turn. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It was a very weird game. I don't know. Like,
Strange.
I think I remember what happens this game, but I don't want to spoil it. So, okay. And here, I think I just like counter this, like hardcast
You
font.
just hard cast force of negation. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you excited to
Player
see what their
adventure that
hand
spawns with
is?
Lunacy. Maybe it would.
See, this guy, him and Onrock always do this shit. They love their Flusterstorm wars. I'm like, it's just like, it's so cringe.
I like how you just said that. It's so great.
And now I can just daze because I didn't pitch the daze. I can just
Yeah,
daze the pyro, which ends up a lot better for me instead of having to like do for one myself again. Of course, I don't get the sanctuary value, but that's fine. I think protecting the whole breacher is worth a lot, personally.
yeah.
It's too
Bye
fairy,
bye to fair. Yeah.
yeah.
Would have another Flusterstorm? Oh no, the
And
Hydra.
I think I'm just priced into it. It's just so annoying, but
Oh yeah, I think you are. Yeah.
I'm putting
Hello,
iteration
Steph.
on top. Yeah. I think I just send all the screenshots to Honorog because I wanted to rub it in how bad these types of decks are. And then instead he just agreed with me instead, so I'm just like, okay, that did not work the way I wanted it to. I wasted because of Hardcast Force. I mean,
That's definitely correct.
I mean,
Oh, they just have a plow.
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think
fair.
it's in their deck, but it's kind of interesting to think about. So now I just cast all my spells. Oh, I didn't cast that. Oh, I guess it makes sense to.
You don't have land drop, so yeah.
Yeah,
Also, even if you had land drop, you don't want to play a land of it. You just want to play two spells, right? So,
yeah. And I'm just like, is this even good for
ooh,
them? I was trying to figure this out. I'm just like, well, I'm not sure.
it's sort of annoying, but
I definitely think casting that is actually correct because it just
yeah,
increases the clock. Or actually, oh, it's good versus removal to do this. That's why. And they're so scared that they cast stress down. I'm just like, I'm not even sure that matters.
Well, they need to cycle it anyway, right? So, like they were brainstorm locked.
So now I was thinking, okay, now if they have Eoc Trickery, I lose. I'm not gonna worry about it because like I kind of think, well, what if they?
Are you supposed? Are you really supposed to cast the other DRC? Well, I guess if they have mentor plus cantrip, you get punished
Yeah,
if you
that's
don't.
what I was thinking about. But also, what about just like Hydroblast, Snap Hydroblast, or something like that?
Yeah, I think you have to cast it. Yeah.
And that is that's Breacher. Give you a hint. The Breacher's not done yet. There's so much. It's just like why? And this person, when I looked at their results were all like the Bant Breacher deck, like Bant Splash Red. So I'm just like, okay.
You definitely keep this hand.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, I should speed up the replay again because these last forever. Wait, did I open the wrong thing? I did open the wrong thing. Hold on. I don't. Let's see. Speed up. You really just got to go on like 1 point whatever for these matchups because they take so long, right? Actually, like kind of all my matchups took a while in this challenge or this showcase.
yeah, that's what banning an obnoxious snowbally one drop does.
Tell us how you really feel about it. So I wasn't even sure if I was supposed to play DRC or Delver
I think you're supposed to play Delver because
because I can double DRC Bobble next turn.
not only because of that, it's just
All right.
like getting Delver as early into play as possible means you have more triggers that
Mm-hmm.
it can flip to. It's more likely to flip, right? So here we definitely, yeah, fetch double DRC ball. It's kind of sick.
Yeah, I mean I've played a lot with Bobble in Modern now, specifically with DRC because of Death Shadow and whatever nonsense. So I was feeling the things, and they
But they
forced
force a
this,
Lilith,
and I'm just like,
which
wow.
stays undoing.
I'm just like that tells me a lot about their deck, and I think, do
Because
I?
Spawner is kind of good. I think
Yeah,
you're supposed to get it.
and I just want to look at their top card, and it's the Snow Forest,
Forest. So
which
they're like
it
Burrow Breacher,
yeah,
Ice
probably
Fang.
Ice Fangs. Yeah, I basically just have all of the information I need now, and I'm hoping to just like kill them before they get anything going. I have a really fast
Yeah.
clock because I have Delirium next turn for my thing, which is kind of gas.
Yeah.
Also, the Force is obviously a fine draw.
It's pretty good. Yeah. That's a shuffle.
And that's a
Okay.
fine card.
It's pretty good. Yeah. They're at 4 cards.
And they're already at 9. I'm just like, what the
And we just
hell?
had Delver into double DRC. It's funny because, like, if the Delver was a Ragavan, they might have, like, forced the Ragavan instead, and then we would have
Yeah.
had 2 DRCs. Or maybe they wouldn't have had the Force and they would just die to the Ragavan. I don't know.
And now I think I just redraw the blue card. It doesn't really
You
matter.
definitely redraw the pitch card
Yeah.
there. Yeah, Denver blind fipping, pretty good. I also like letting this resolve because, like,
Because I just play Murktide instead. Like,
you
who
just play
cares?
Murktide now. Yeah, they block the DRC. We play Murktide. This one we definitely may. Oh, we only have 2 things. It doesn't matter. It's lethal anyway. So definitely counter this one.
I'm thinking about what to pitch. I think it's fun pitching Force.
Yeah, I think you're supposed to pitch Force of Will because they could have Flusterstorm again as usual. I didn't know people played this many Flusterstorms in these decks. They're probably supposed to because like their combo matchup hinges really on their 3 drops, and
Right.
they need like some way to bridge to that thing. I'm just not sure like the breacher strategy in general is good because I don't know. It's like so clunky. I don't know. Um, yeah, Cyberplan is similar.
I'm looking up
I
their deck list while I'm looking while
I would
figuring this
I would
out.
I would tend to like leave in more wastelands because they're
Yep.
green. Um, definitely like side out Boras, some bolts, probably the balls. Yeah,
I don't think Barber is
submerge.
very good versus them.
Yeah, oh, submerge makes sense because of endurance.
Yep.
Definitely need to cut some murky boys.
I I think
No,
I just
actually,
like siding out Murktide more than other people, and it might not be correct.
it depends on. Well, they are like they don't have pyroblast and plow. I might leave in more Murktides in this matchup. Um,
I think I decided I could just play with zero, but I kind of hate cutting this wasteland now because they're Uro. Oh
I
yeah,
don't know. I think three wasteland is still fine.
okay.
It's you don't necessarily know four. It's like you're never gonna like screw them completely out of the game. You just screw them like off casting an Uro, or like you screw them like you make your
Hmm.
daisies better for a turn or something. Your plan is not to draw like a bunch of wastelands and waste every land because they're always gonna fetch basics at some point.
Hmm.
They're like you never can like utilize all your wastelands. It just gets like a slightly better against them deck that needs to cast a
Right.
blue green spell. This is an annoying card.
Yeah. I actually pitched iteration, and I kind of regret that. I think.
I don't
Well,
know if we are supposed to pitch a duration there.
well, my thinking was the days is going to be really valuable because it always is versus their deck. So I didn't want to pitch that one, and I don't want to pitch the court. I kind of don't want to pitch the brainstorm either. So
Maybe you are supposed to pitch the iteration. I don't know. It's close. Put back Murktide and Surgical. Oh, you could also do. Oh, that's interesting.
I definitely hate putting the stays
There,
back.
yeah, I hate that too. I think there's many ways to play this. One of them is jamming cord and having days backup, but then you lose to Quaddle. So
That's why I think I ended up not doing it actually.
you could have surgical carpet to see if they have a Quaddle or something. But like, I'm not sure that would have been a good play. Let me just counter this anyway. I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, fetching first.
If I'm going to counter it, I should definitely do it this way. But I don't think this is good actually. I
I
think
don't
this
think
is
the
like
fetching. I don't think the fetching first matters too much. But yeah, yeah. I mean, you could like what if you like survey like brainstorm to the top? Then you would rather have the fetch one
right.
still, right? So it's just like that the countering the brainstorm in general doesn't really make much sense there to me.
I
Like
think
they
that
have
was
so many
yeah.
clunky three drops that Pyroblast is insane in versus
I think
like
that
them
yeah.
cast them just casting cantrips is like okay because they can't cast more than like two spells per turn anyway. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't like that in retrospect.
Also now we don't have a Pyroblast for their flash creature, which we kind of want for a court.
And now I can't even play the court.
Well,
So
I guess
everything
we
is
couldn't we couldn't have Pyroblasted that anyway. So, but
and now I'm just going after their green sources, I think, because of
yeah,
Uro. But I think now it's actually really hard to win from this board.
that the brainstorm. Maybe we could go back to the brainstorm after the game,
Yeah.
or but like that's like pretty. That's like a pretty hard brainstorm because there is multiple ways you could like play it. One way is you go for like the Court of Conning, hope they don't have Ice Fang. The other way is we can't even counter that. Great. The other way is we like surgical them and see
Right.
if the coast is clear for the Court of Conning. And then another way would have been to like shuffle away the third land and just be really greedy. There were like many ways to play that. Well,
I
that's actually decent for us because we're able to surgical it now, but that doesn't matter because you're just dying on board.
yeah, I still do it just for the info because I don't think it matters if I tell them if very surgical in my
You
deck.
definitely want to just see their library. We have to mill that, yeah. Okay, what do they have post board? I see.
They have a Supreme Verdict. I didn't even notice that the first time. They have 2 back to basics.
Only 2 carpets.
Well, we countered. Oh no, there were only 2 total. Yeah. Oh, that's like one of my best draws actually, and I still don't think it's enough. Like,
Probably mill
I
that.
guess if I hit like Submerge and Blast, but now I just have.
Murktide would have been okay too, right?
True.
Just
Yeah.
as a blocker. Supposed to mill. Maybe it's a submerge, but we have to jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just dubbed. Because like there is no draw to.
No.
Oh no, there is iteration into Pyro plus blocker works, but like,
Yeah.
well, that's like the only thing.
This court has looked terrible this game, but I still think it's like relatively good versus this deck. I just didn't play in a coherent way to make it good, I think, is the actual issue.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sure about the forcing the carpet anymore. Maybe we're not supposed to force the carpet.
My issue is when I have not forced carpets is they've just cast too many spells like that I had to
The
deal with.
problem is if they have like if they don't have Uro, I think it's fine if carpet resolves, but if they have Uro, it's so huge. I like how we always end up siding up all the bolts game 2 and then bring them back in game 3 or something.
It's because I don't. Well, I don't expect
I
people
think
to
this,
leave in so many breachers versus me is the reason, but
well, I don't know, they just don't have anything else in their deck going on. I don't know.
I
I
guess.
think I think you're supposed to have like more than one Murktide too.
Okay.
But like this is like a 2 bolt matchup just because of the quads and the hull
Sure.
breachers, I think. Like 2 bolts are fine. You have Pyroblast anyway, but like just not having to use your Pyroblast on these cards is also kind of good.
So yeah, I think that game 2 was definitely winnable. Like if I had just done
It
things.
looked winnable to me. And like that
Yeah.
one brainstorm was like pretty hard, honestly. So I don't know. It's like definitely like after that one brainstorm, you
Right.
just like have to make a plan basically on how you want to play this game. And
And I think
there's
I picked a plan that sort of made sense, but didn't really work out. But I think I could have
yeah,
had a better plan. Is the
yeah,
major
yeah,
issue.
yeah. I think that's it.
And then now I just have to cast Brainstorm. I believe I do not draw a land here and basically lose. That's pretty bad. Oh, also I realized I was supposed to. I after this I realized I was supposed to put an iteration on top and just surgical ponder to mill one of the iterations.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Instead, oh, like I left a brainstorm on top because I'm like I'm gonna cast it next turn. I'm like, wait, I should have just thought it even further through instead of I didn't think enough. Essentially, I should have gone to the red clock.
That's true. Yeah, we should have tanked longer on their plays because it's game 3 and both players have 17 minutes still. It's kind of a lot.
Yeah, my opponent did not play slow, but they also finished. I believe they finished 5-4. So that's not a.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I'm not like a huge
mhm.
um fan of playing slow in general, but like I just feel like with Delver you have so much time anyway, so
You kill
you're
your
like,
opponent really fast. Like so,
yeah,
why are we rushing?
why are we rushing? Yeah, you're not never under time constraints.
Oh, I main phase surgical with collateral. Like this is kind of a weird looking play, but I also think it makes.
I don't hate it. I think it's fine.
When people ask me what you're supposed to surgical, it's like it's very contextual. It's like sometimes I'll do different things. You punted in round 7. That makes sense. It's really hard to play a tournament without punting. Like I punted multiple times versus you, so like no big deal, right?
Yeah.
Also, your deck just requires you to play like a million turns every tournament. So, and like here, I know they have force, right?
Yeah.
So
I
it's
think you just
like,
let it resolve.
yeah, and you
Un-
kind of just have to.
Untap, draw your flooded strand.
I do have an island, but I don't. The problem is one island is not to get enough to get out of the situation. I need to actually draw like a counter spell for their counter, right?
Yeah.
Before I can make a move. And the problem is they can like put so much pressure on me with the Uro, and
Yeah,
it
you know, they
just.
still have their arrow in hand and stuff like that.
And this is like super obnoxious as well. So I'm like, now I think I'm just losing straight up.
Yeah, the carpet is pretty good.
Yeah, it was because I punted game two, I think. Like, this game,
Yeah,
I think, was very
this game
hard.
is this game. It's much harder to win. Yeah, because you're like on one land for like at least 3 turns or 2 turns.
And
If we
that
cast
makes.
this, we should definitely fetch first. Yeah,
I don't know what
you're
I'm
like
thinking about.
you're like hmm.
I actually decided not to cast it. I'm not even sure if that's right either. I think I'm
Yeah,
probably
I
supposed to
think
cast it.
usually you're supposed to cast it off the
Yeah.
island. Yeah,
I was thinking
but
about giving them mana for the Uro is the issue, but
that makes sense.
but kind of think I'm just like so far dead that I probably was supposed to just like cast things and hope something works out, but obviously it doesn't work out and I'm going to get like I think I'm just actually dying to this Uro.
Oh,
Like
maybe we're supposed to cast iteration here instead of Delver, just to hope to draw Force of Will, and then just blast back to basics. Or
oh, I see.
did they have
Yeah.
what counter did they have in Enforce? Or was it Fluster?
It was forcible. Their hand was forcible
Yeah, so
Uro.
I think we're supposed to cast iteration here and not Delver.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to hope to find the Force of Will to protect your Power Blast.
Yeah, and I actually think I submerged this Uro with the trigger on the stack. I don't know if that's crazy. Maybe this is crazy, actually. But I guess they wanted to fluster it, so maybe it's not that crazy. But it's really not, the situation is very bad for me, I think, no matter how you slice it.
No, yeah, this is losing. Even if you like cast iteration or anything, I don't think there's much to do.
So the reason the
I
Pyro...
like how we use the submerge first because that like draws out their counter at
Yeah,
least, and the pyro is like better at answering Uro. Otherwise, they would just redraw it, and like brainstorm is pretty good here.
that's bad,
That's
though.
not good. Yeah.
And the problem is if I use both of my lands as Lotus Petals, I don't really see what I can do.
No, yeah, we're
So
kind of dopes.
kind of just hoping that they somehow shuffled the Force away at some point, but I think it's basically impossible.
I would actually target the back to basics here, but like the Uro is
Yeah.
obviously a huge problem, but like you're definitely not beating the
Mm-hmm.
back. Like even if you kill the Uro, you're not beating it when they recast it, right? So you
Right.
definitely need to like unlock all your iterations. But like it doesn't matter. They had forcible anyway, so wouldn't win anyway. It's whatever.
I think I was tired of this match after I played game two so poorly, is what actually happened.
Makes
Sometimes it
sense.
happens to me. I don't have like a
Sometimes
meltdown. I get tired of a match, and like
that
yeah,
makes
obviously
sense.
endurance is just plenty good here.
You
Like
just want to get out of the match. Yeah.
I get want to get out of the match because I know I'm like dead, and I'm like I just want to go like walk around and clear the head because there's these matches. These rounds went like 56 minutes per round. If you're not, are you surprised by that?
Yeah. No, not with these
It yeah,
matchups.
exactly. Like there was always
Not if we had to
someone.
play against. We played against what 3 breacher or something 4.
Okay, so fortunately there was
3.
like well, a buddy of mine had played this matchup earlier, and they said this person was on Sneak and Show, and I'm like, thank God, this is like at least this is not going to drag on for like 9,000 years. But also, I think Sneak and Show is generally a pretty good matchup.
It is, yeah.
I mean, like, obviously you can lose, but
Especially with the list where you have 2 more extra non-creature counters main deck.
Stu said, I watched Jarvis beat Reed live on twitch.tv. It was great. Well, that did happen. But that matchup was also, like, super, like, I don't know how to put it. I think it showed the extremes, all three extremes of the Delver mirror, which is kind of funny. We got, like, 3 different sub games played.
Yeah, I saw that the Wasteland game. That was definitely something. I'm happy to look at it again.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not this round. The next round is actually Yuki Ichikawa, and then it's Reed. I'm just like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like my first few rounds, like, sure, but then the later rounds of the tournament became a lot more difficult somehow. And I guess that always
You
happens.
probably, well, that makes sense, right? That's
Yeah.
always how the tournaments work, right?
And I was just like tired. I'm just like, God, can
Oh
I
yeah,
get.
it's not only the opponents that get better, so it's also that like you get, yeah, fatigue is a huge issue in long
Well,
tournaments.
I was drinking a lot of
At least for
coffee
me,
and tea, but
coffee is powerful. Yeah.
right. Oh yeah, I have to fast forward. My opponent doesn't show up for a while. I don't know. Like, okay. Let me see if I can find the point. Fortunately, this is why I recorded it. If you try to do, okay, there we go. Oh, hold on. Let's see. If you know their sneak and show, this hand's unkeepable. This hand's also like just not very good in general. I think.
Um, I would. What was it? It was Bobble, Bolt, Delver, Fetch, Wasteland,
Well,
Wasteland,
yeah,
Wasteland, Wasteland, Bobble, Bolt, Delver,
I
Fetch.
would
What
keep
was
it
the
in a
seventh?
mirror. I would keep it in
What
a
was the
mirror.
seventh card? What was the seventh card?
Yeah,
I don't even know anymore.
two
Oh, okay, yeah,
fetches. Yeah,
another land. Okay, yeah, this is definitely a mulligan.
yeah.
This is much better.
Yeah, and especially if I think they're sneak and show, this hand's like close to the nuts, actually, right?
The other hand would be good in like
Fair matchups.
some matchup
Yeah.
like the elves or something, where they like
Mm-hmm.
have both targets, wasteland targets. It's not good like in the dark, I think.
Right. But
Unless you know your opponent has a lot of wasteland targets.
yeah, it
DRC is the best creature in these matchups, I think. It's like sort of what Arcanist did, but much worse. Obviously, but it's only 1 mana, so it's fine. It's like just surveilling into
Mhm.
more counters, surveilling into cantrips.
They take like a lot of pauses, like which kind of drove me nuts because they were already like behind on time.
Maybe they were like double queuing, or maybe they're
I
like
checked that actually. MTG
they
bot
weren't.
said they weren't, so I don't know. Like maybe they
They're
just
just
have like.
AFKing.
So I daze here, and I'm just like, well, if they have another spirit guide, they already used one. I'm just
Oh,
like, okay,
you definitely have to days. That's
yeah,
like no
I agree.
question. Show and tell.
And
Okay, yeah, we know that, and then pray that they don't have a force of will.
or daze, or really like, there's lots of things I don't want them to have. They just like randomly go AFK right here, which drove me nuts.
Yeah,
Had it, still had one.
it's close. I feel like to mill the iteration or not, but it's so slow that you probably have to.
I'm definitely
That's
bobbling
a
myself.
good one. That's a good
Yeah.
card to draw here. Ooh, that's really good.
Yeah, and obviously I just cycle the bobble looking at their top card now.
Yeah,
Good old Mishra's Bobble. And I'm like, that's scary. Like,
them having force of will is scary. Yeah.
but I mean, what else can I do? Like, this is literally what I've been given.
I probably would have played the volcanic out. I don't know why, just to like save another fetch or something. It's just habit.
Oh, fair, fair. Yeah, I see what you mean.
My habits tell me I'd play the volcanic. Probably doesn't matter. Like it's
I
not like they would have wasteland or anything.
yeah. And I know that they have this force, so I'm I really just kind of have to get this game over with.
Yeah,
And yeah, this is where playing the Volk would have been better, I think. By a lot last turn.
By a lot. I think it's not that huge of a difference, but like just tiny bit. It
Okay.
makes some difference. Oh, we also are playing into days here. Luckily, they don't have it.
I mean, they still could have it. That's really not good for me, but I have one option, which is this.
Yeah,
Do you chain them here? Probably
that's a
not.
very, very
Be-
good question because you could lose to Simian Spirit Guide. Then you just kill your DRC.
so
Yeah,
I
you
know they
can.
still have the force, but I still have to make this play, obviously. But
So they are thinking about what to pitch.
remember when
And they
we tracked that force from Bobble so long ago? They were
Yeah,
locked to have it here. So, good beats.
yeah. Okay, so we lose that game. That was mostly just. Hmm.
I mean,
Oh, it didn't feel like we drew badly or anything. They just had like two show and tells.
they had two show and tells plus like backup for both of them. It looked like, right?
Yeah, and like only 3 or 4 lands. Yeah, I guess that was the reason why we lost.
Definitely don't think I need Murktide in this matchup.
Um, there's some situations where it's good because it's like bigger than
Oh
Gristlebrand.
shit! You know what I did? I did not click on the extra fawn somehow. I don't even
Oh,
know how that
you just
happened.
don't side in Vaughn. Great.
That's really bad. And I
Don't side
don't
in
fix it.
Vaughn.
Oh, I think I had to go to the bathroom because I drank too much tea.
Oh,
But
I see.
no, it was I don't know. This was definitely incorrect too.
Probably, yeah.
What do you mean probably? It definitely is. There's no probably.
No,
What?
because there's a trade-off: going to the bathroom or citing your or like having a better deck post board. It's like honestly, when I need to pee, I need to pee.
Yeah.
You know,
All right, we're gonna fast forward a bit because I believe I don't get the font in, but this hand is just.
merely a
Oh, hold
flex,
on.
merely a flex. That's
Okay,
like
well that
what?
hand's unkeepable. It,
Oh, good, yeah.
it was five.
I was like,
Yeah.
I thought we mulled this hand when you
Oh no, no,
when
you.
you when you pulled back in time. I was like, wait, why did we not keep this hand?
So I think you
Okay,
just
this makes
bottom a threat, and it's probably just Delver, right?
it's Delver because DRC makes you draw less lands and makes you draw more good cards.
Mm-hmm.
Simply, yeah.
Pretty, very, very straightforward. I
You
think.
could make an argument for bottoming the Volk because, but it's
I just want to develop smoothly. Like if I bottom the
they have,
Volk and
it's
don't.
like they have days in their deck as
Yeah,
well, right? So if
exactly.
they wouldn't have days, then maybe you could like have the Delver as a pitch card
Mm-hmm.
or something.
So I don't play Ponder this turn because I'm afraid of like show and tell plus days, and like I think I can just wait a turn to make a land drop.
Spell Pierce or Hero. Wait, if you get to counter this, that's kind of good.
Yeah.
Like they might still have sneak attack, but we have surgical now. It's kind of nice, yeah. They have force of will, yeah. That's
Well,
not
they pitch a
nice.
show and tell, so that tells you a lot about their hand. I consider forcing back, then I decide it's not worth it.
That's very interesting. It means they have like, another show and tell. Yeah, we milled those. Um,
I didn't think
yeah,
I had enough time to develop that card. That's why I didn't
you
keep it.
definitely no, you definitely shuffle that
Mm-hmm.
because like you definitely just want like another interaction spell now, or like a wasteland or a daze or whatever would all be nice.
By the way, I think after this match we should take a short break. for the restroom or whatever. Speaking of restrooms.
Sure.
Because we're gonna have like two like kind of well, I mean, my opponents are both good players in next round for sure, next two rounds for sure, so
Yeah.
don't want land. Actually, you could have made a case for not casting Ponder, but I knew my top card was a fetch, so that's why I wanted to cast it. Like, I just wanted to like improve the quality a little bit. Maybe that's crazy.
No, I don't hate that. This is pretty hard because forcing this. Hmm, it because they pitched a show and tell, it kind of makes me think they have another show and tell, so we might
I
force.
Yeah, I think they either have a show and tell or a sneak attack for sure.
No, yeah, no,
Oh no, no,
that's
I see what you
clear. No,
mean. Yeah,
I'm like, they're more likely to have a show and tell than a sneak
right,
attack, even though they're already used to show and tells, because like they pitched a show and tell, right? So
right.
why would you even like pitch show and tell to force a will to counter surgical on
Uh,
show and tell if you
Unless if
didn't
you
have
have
a
another
third
one.
one?
Yeah, fair enough.
Like they have to have another one,
Yeah.
right? So that's why you need to counter defense grid here, I think.
And
Oh,
this is like that's super brutal, and I'm just like, well, now I feel like I'm dead.
now you
But
have to fetch, right? Or do you? Well, maybe you are not supposed to. Maybe
so
just
I actually
pop.
thought about this a while, and I'm like, what if I find Wasteland?
Oh, that's a good point.
So I actually decided to keep it and just and like ding.
And you just find
And actually,
wasteland.
Daze is sort of okay versus defense grid
It is, yeah.
because first off, it doesn't cost me 2 cards, and second off, it only really costs me
Oh yeah. No,
three
I
three
think I
mana.
think I would have kept it too, but like, because like drawing the fetch, drawing the
Mhm.
fourth land doesn't really do much, right? Like it.
And I slam Murktide here because I actually have Gristlebrand beat
Yeah.
because they're
They
at
need
7.
they need Emrakul.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm like that sort of
But they
sucks,
just
but
didn't have show and tell Emrakul.
yeah, I guess not.
Maybe that show and tell Grizzlebrand. I'm wondering why they forced pitch show and tell the surgical then.
They might have
They,
brainstormed it away afterwards, right?
yeah. Oh yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I feel like very far ahead now, even though like the DRC did not die.
Oh yeah. Now we have Power Blast up as well. Yeah. Now it's over. Oh,
Well,
why did
I
we cast the
no,
brainstorm?
so I concluded their last card had to be sneak attack, but maybe
Yeah,
that's
but
just wrong. Yeah, I'm not supposed to cast
like
it
yeah,
actually.
but there's no like it doesn't even help you to resolve this brainstorm, right? Like what are we finding? Force of Will, I guess, is like the only card that you could find that makes a difference. I'd rather just leave up the Pyroblast and
Right.
the Days at the same time. Well, like,
Well,
yeah.
I can't leave up both, right? Because blast costs 4.
No, but like, if they play land show and tell, you'd rather
Sure.
have a 4 mana Pyroblast, right?
Right.
But they have Sneak Attack, yeah. Why did they? Makes no sense to
Well,
me. Yeah,
I
they just.
concluded that from the way the game played out, I concluded that they had to have sneak
Yeah,
attack in hand.
no, that makes sense. Just like the force pitch show and tell thing.
By the way, for those of you who are wondering why you have to daze this, what if their last 2 cards are Simian Spirit Guide Emrakul?
Yeah, or like Lotus Petal or something. But they would
Yeah,
have played
it's
Lotus Petal, but like Simian Spirit God, most
why
of
is
them.
Steam Vents strengthened? Because if you only have 4 volcanics and you surveil a bunch, it's actually very easy to run out of lands, Astaroth. And I correct my mistake immediately.
Yeah.
If you could play 5 volcanic islands, I give you a hint. I would play 5 volcanic islands. So I actually left in the borrower for defense grid now that I saw it, but I don't know if that's right. It's kind of weird, right? I was definitely thinking about defense grid when I put the borrower back in, though. Well, I mean, this is a fine hand. I mean, maybe you have one too many dazes, but Daze is so insane versus them that you can never mulligan.
Pretty good.
And
Oh,
now I have a good like Daze is like the perfect card to pitch, you know,
that makes sense.
and that's
But yeah,
pretty
we
good
keep the
too, actually.
we definitely want the fawn in hand,
Yeah,
and then like I don't know.
I think I actually should have just drawn the. Okay, well, and they have one
Oh
card
yeah,
now.
they kind of had the nuts, but we also had the nuts.
Well, I kept 7 and they kept 6, like so that kind of favors me. My top
But
card's Hole
some,
Breacher, and I just decide I'm just gonna redraw it because like I think it's like
yeah,
actually an
no,
easy way to.
you just might want to might draw a land, or like might find a land of the iteration and then like lock out all their cantrips. Makes
Mhm.
sense.
Definitely casting this iteration, obviously, because it's kind of interesting that they brainstormed in response. I guess they're looking for days.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Forest land, yeah.
And
Excellent. Next time we just cast Hullbreacher.
it's hard for them to make forward progress unless if they like literally show and tell this turn.
Another flash threat. Broken. Well, yeah.
Yeah, both of us had really good hands this game, I think. Like they had grid into show and tell, right?
It's interesting. They must be kind of upset that they lost that, to be honest. Like, turn on
Yeah,
grid and trying to show and tell with force backup. Whew. Oh, that's pretty good as well.
yeah.
So now we just wasteland them.
And
Put
I'm
back like I would put back iteration probably.
yeah.
I like steam as iteration, flip the Delver to it.
I think I'm working out what I'm supposed to do here. I think I probably come to that conclusion because there's like not that many ways you can play this hand, right?
Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward.
It looks like I clicked right. Who can say for
Yeah.
sure though? Because we've seen me. Oh,
Oh, then we. Oh, you. Oh, hmm. Oh, did you play around Spell Pierce maybe or something? Maybe you played around Spell Pierce. I can see that.
yeah. Maybe I thought I was just far enough ahead that I didn't actually have to deploy any threats as well.
Yeah, I just felt like the Brazen Bar in our hand is a pitch card, so so I felt like playing the Delver makes sense.
Mhm.
So we already had the pitch card, and now we play DRC. Okay.
Yeah, this deck is still really good. This blue red deck.
Oh, it's definitely very good. It's not broken, but
Yeah, it's
it's
not
very
broken
good.
anymore,
But
but
I guess people have differing opinions on how good DRC is. I think
sure.
DRC is a really good card.
They
Oh, there's
pay
this blue
one. I'm
guy.
just like, no, it's okay though. Like I traded a card for a card. I'll give you a hint. If they force it, like if it's a Gristlebrand, they can't actually draw off of it because of Hole Preacher as well.
Yeah, and you have Bear Prison Bora.
Yep.
Ooh, and it resolved. That's funny. Do they have Grizzlebrand?
I'm trying to. I don't remember what's going on here. Oh, I should have taken a
Oh,
screenshot. Yeah, this is. They have no cards in hand, so this is just like literally
beautiful.
perfect. And you surveil, and it's just like, well,
Oh, you leave that on top for sure. Oh, they just conceded anyway. I would leave the wasteland on top because like then they don't
well,
have
they
outs,
they
right?
didn't let me finish resolving it, Stefan.
Yeah,
So who knows? All right, we're gonna take a few minutes, but we'll be back. There's still a few matches to go. Let's see, that was fat. I have 6, 7, 8, 9. 7 will be in my client because I actually forgot to hit the record button. So apologies for that. Thanks
sure.
for everyone being here. We'll be back in a few minutes.
What duels actually see four times playing Legacy? Yeah, I think it's just Volcanic Island. Sometimes Underground Sea for like in Doomsday or something. Hmm. Yeah, that's basically it. There are no 400 decks anymore. There really haven't been 400 decks most of the time. And yeah, there's also no deck that plays 4 tropical islands. There's probably some fringe deck that like plays huge amounts of dual lands or something. But the only like, if you go by the popular decks, the only ones you really need are like, or you really want to have 4 of, are like Volcanic Island and Underground Sea. That's all just like because Delver has so many like 1 mana threats now. Or like it had even more before, but like just like you want to have like a dual land every turn instead of like basics. So Volcanic Island is just really good.
All right, what we got? Oh, someone asked about dual lands. Did you answer, Stefan?
Yeah,
It's
I
what,
think.
Savannah? Sometimes
Oh, Savannah. Sometimes you need 4 of Savannah. That's
for
true,
white green
actually.
depths, I believe, right?
That's like one of the only decks where
Right.
you need that. Yeah, I
Oh,
forgot.
right. So we'll go to match 6.
This is the Triosk match.
Yeah, it's the Trios match. I always seem to get very lucky versus Triosk as well, and it seems to help a lot. Veil some are too good. Yeah, Veil's like, well, it's kind of funny. I'm not sure how good Veil is in Legacy actually, but it's definitely pretty good in Modern right now.
Well, nobody plays Thoughtseize anymore, so I would say it's good because nobody plays Thoughtseize anymore.
Dear Mental Misstep, nice name. I won a Legacy GP with that card. There's only one person that could be. There's only literally one Legacy GP you're allowed to play Mental Misstep in.
Oh,
It was like it was Bant, I think, right? So let's unpack what actually happened this game. Triosk went to
oh,
5 cards.
so you wastelanded him because his
Yeah, so,
range. Well,
yeah. I think I'm just
he's
trying.
he's not unlikely to still have a second land, but
Yeah,
it's impossible for him to have 3 lands
yeah,
unless
pretty much.
his last hand was like something really weird.
So yeah, I'm going to. I'm like thinking about what I'm supposed to do. And I'm thinking I probably should just waste. I can like probably trade off all my creatures for his creatures, and he only has 2 cards in hand. So this is like obviously very dangerous.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. I definitely like the first wasteland just to see if he actually has a
but
second
look,
land.
I drew lightning
But
bolts, so now I'm basically gonna win. You know.
yeah, now we have another removal spell, and it's pretty easy. I just go Deer Bolt. This game is actually just a
And
wrap.
also because he plays Steam Medicine as his second land, how it's like basically impossible for him to have another land, right?
Yeah, he'd had
Yeah.
to. Well, he could draw it, right?
Yeah,
But
sure.
it's like the only he just draws the land.
So this is what I mean when I get very lucky versus him. This has happened to him versus me like multiple times in showcases. Like this exact scenario. Like and it's just like how can I keep getting away with it, right? Like it's just so lucky. So all of the forces
Well,
are pretty bad. Spell Pierce is
you
not
you
great.
live and die by the mulligans and the wasteland.
Yeah. I actually like End the Festivities versus a lot of these people because I think there's been a trend to play Young Pyromancer again.
I see.
And
I
I
would
think
probably side out like I'm not a fan of siding out
well,
Typhon
we've talked
Emerge.
about this, and I've on the other side. I don't know. Like, I think it's okay to side out one merc, but you should not side out more than one.
You just need them in your deck at some point, right? Like the games can definitely go long. Yeah, I
Does that
mean it's
change?
not too bad.
Well, I was gonna say, does that change if you have Mystic Sanctuary in your deck?
Maybe.
Yeah, that was the only counterpoint I had to that.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it possible that he has Steam Vents
I
fetch and
think it's
can't?
so unlikely he has that many lands in his hand, period, because he's on 5 cards.
Like, well, he could have drawn a land, but he couldn't have had it in his opener unless
Yeah.
his 5 card hand had like DRC spell 5 lands. That's like the only
Well, he
combination of
definitely
cards.
kept, in my opinion, he definitely kept land, Delver DRC, and the last
Oh,
card's unknown.
I would have definitely cycled this wobble here.
Oh, would you have?
Yeah, it's just like our hand is so clunky. We have brainstorm and
Oh,
iteration.
sure.
I just want to see the next card.
Oh, fair enough. And I think I don't actually want that iteration, but
Yeah, well, that works out. Now we just go end the festivities Delver.
yeah, and if the Delver gets dazed, who even cares, right?
Yeah, we don't care about our threats here too much because we have iteration. Sprite
Sprite
Dragon.
Dragon. Okay, I'm gonna say a few words on Sprite Dragon. I do not believe it's very good, but
It's a fine. I think it's a fine threat. It's just like I don't know. It's mainly because of Murktide that I don't want to play it.
yeah,
I don't think it's that bad. Like if we didn't have Murktide, we'd probably play it, right? So
it is good
uh,
with Mishra's Bauble though. That is actually one thing that I should point out.
yeah, it's good with Mishra's Bauble.
Their top cards on Holy Heat, so I don't really care.
Yeah, no, we just kill that. We attack.
So my plan is to run Murktide into a blast and then resolve the iteration because I think the iteration is more important than the Murktide. I think.
I agree. From the way like if you have enough blasts to kill your opponent's Murktides, then your own Murktides are not that important.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like sometimes it's important to have your own Murktide versus their Murktide, otherwise you just
Sure.
die. But
Yep.
like yeah, we have a blast, so we are fine. So yeah, I would definitely cast.
Whoa! I
Oh,
went
we
for
have
this,
iteration here.
and
Oh,
it kind of worked out for me, I guess, because if it doesn't get blasted,
no,
I I think you can basically write blast off from their hand, right?
probably yeah. Yeah, I think.
I
No,
think
we're just
casting one of those two is fine.
we are just
Oh,
outcasting
you
them.
know what it was? If I cast my Murktide, it didn't even survive on Holy Heat.
Oh, they had unholy. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
they
never mind.
had.
This is just definitely correct to do. That's why I did that,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, you definitely cast
Okay.
iteration then.
Okay. And obviously, it worked out best possible for me because they didn't counter it, and I got to spend my mana, casting everything, right?
Is Ethereal Forager in some small numbers completely unplayable?
I think it's not aged
Completely
well.
unplayable. It's like what's really completely. What do you mean by completely unplayable? Is the question. Like I don't think you cannot win games. I think you still like if you get to attack with it, it's like still fine, right? But like
Yeah.
um you definitely want to play 4 Murktides before you put your first Forager into your
Yeah.
deck, right?
That,
So
that
I
that's
think
the
it kind of
answer.
collides. It kind of collides
Yeah.
with your Murktides.
By the
That's the
way,
main issue.
his iteration exiled Days, which is really not what you want to have happen with that card.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah,
his
I mean,
it must have been like reactive card, non-land, right? Like it
yeah, unwalable,
unplayable.
unbearable. I think it's unbearable.
It's unbearable for sure.
Oh, you get wastelanded.
I don't.
Oh, he's smart. He plays around your days. Well, actually, it doesn't matter
No, it doesn't.
because unless he has days as well. No, so he's not smart. I mean, he's probably smart. Like, I'm just saying, like, it doesn't matter.
I
He just
actually think
doesn't
this.
waste on you.
I think this is
Hmm.
actually a keep. I'm
yeah.
just
No, the extra land is
yeah.
good because
Yeah.
they have wasteland. I don't know why they didn't use it.
I also don't know why they didn't use it,
Oh,
but
it's because they want to play Murktide while
mhm,
having something up and not playing it to days.
yeah, something like that.
No, that makes sense. I think we definitely played a fetch. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you just kill it. I'll probably cast a Murktide here.
Yep. Oh, I think I remember what happens here. I think my opponent makes a very clear mistake you're about to see.
Do you make a 7/7?
Yeah, I made a 7/7 because I just assumed it was going to die to blast. But look, this is a mistake. Why don't we just like untap?
Yeah, with one card in hand.
Yeah, I think this was like really not good. And now this brainstorm becomes an actual ancestral recall.
You should actually cast your brain.
Yeah,
Well, actually, no. Well,
no,
no, that doesn't matter because, like, huh?
I think now I should cast it for sure.
They might have spell period or something. I don't know.
But basically, I got to like double days a blast on my Murktide when that should have never happened, right?
Yeah.
I think that was like pretty bad. But keep in mind, I think it's like 5 a.m. for him or something ridiculous like that.
You probably had iteration. Like the reason to cast it
Yeah.
insta is if you have iteration in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he had iteration in his hand, and it's more defensible.
Yep.
But like, yeah, I don't really agree. Where can I download this program?
Just Google Magic the Gathering online.
Did they make it so inaccessible?
No.
Magic the Gathering online. MTGO home. Does it lead to Arena? No, okay, it leads to Magic Online. Good.
What's up, Kai Sawatari?
Get started for free.
We got a Kai Sawatari in the house.
Ooh,
Doomsday.
Salatarix.
So I actually think the Wasteland has no value anymore.
Yeah.
And now I think I just deploy all my threats and bash them. So like you could try to eat the DRC,
No,
but
that's not worth it. They're at
yeah.
10. Yeah.
And also they still have this Unholy Heat in their hand, I'm pretty sure.
Just kill Undead.
Yeah. And I'll give you a hint. This Mystic Sanctuary is going to get them real good, and they're going to be sad about it.
Oh, is this game okay? Oh, I see why.
Because like it's so unintuitive to play around that unless if you know for sure that they. Well, it's also like it's hard to have a correct time to do it. The only time you can do it is with this fetch on the stack.
Oh yeah, they could waste you now, and they didn't. Well, to be fair,
you have to put your opponent on Sanctuary in their deck. They waste here.
Also, like if they waste in response, oh, he wasn't even playing around days.
Oh,
like I thought the reason why he didn't do it was because you might daze him, right?
no.
Like,
So I did this. I did this end steps so I can flip.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm just like, he probably thought that you could like cancel the trigger by wasting.
You can't. Like you have to do it with the fetch on the stack.
But like, yeah.
You also have to know your opponent has Sanctuary in their deck. Otherwise, that play is not good.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No,
so
but like you see, like he still wastelanded you with the Murktide on stack, right?
Yeah.
So he thought like he could like do something. I think.
Yeah. Unfortunately for him.
Unplayed.
Unfortunately, what actually happened to him was I won that game because of deck building. I really believe that. Like because
builder's advantage.
Well, I mean, I've built so many decks for this sort of stuff. Yo, Marco Mel, thank you for the 25-person raid. We will now get to probably the best match I played in this tournament. All right, and it's against my pal Reed Duke, Hall of Famer, probably one of the best players in this tournament. Although not necessarily in the Delver mirror, I think, but still very good. So we have to use this, and great hand. I know he's on Delver. We literally talked about deck lists like the past few days, so
we're on the play, and we have 2 Delvers, and it's all fine.
Obviously, I lead on that one, so I can't get wasted. Even though knowing Reed, he is very not the type of guy to waste land on the draw, even though I actually am the type of guy to waste on the draw.
Different kinds of Delver players.
Oh, there's the ones who understand that you can, like, cheese ones. Oh, I didn't see what that ponder was. It looked... I think there was a lightning bolt underneath. By the way, if you all want to check it out, I believe the other side of this match is on Reed's Twitch VOD, and that might be entertaining to do at some point. That Reed match was sick. Don't spoil, please. No spoilers. But we will... This... I would say this match was, like, definitely crazy. Like... And I don't say that very often because I've played so many matches of Magic, you know? Right.
Okay, so we have
Chain
Delver.
Lightning. Okay.
Chain Lightning is pretty good.
Yeah, I obviously just burn it here. Because, like, I don't want...
Just kill their creature,
Yep.
attack, go.
And definitely don't cast anything else because, like, getting your iteration days is bad. I already played my land anyways, so, like... What is it? This is a Merc, I guess? Okay. Should I force that Merc? I wasn't even sure.
Oh, I think you should. Well, I don't know how big was it. It was like a 5/5.
It was a 5/5.
And then you can make your own 5/5. Well, the issue is if you don't force it, what's going to happen is you untap. You don't want to cast your own Murktide because it's only going to be a 5/5.
Yeah.
So you will cast Iteration, and then you will take a hit from this Murktide if they kill your Delver, which they're likely to. I don't know. I feel like it's the better move, the better tempo move to counter it. Maybe you were not supposed to do it. I don't know.
I was
like a bad
really...
card anyway. But
Yeah. I was really unsure about this, but the reason I did it was I thought my Murktide being a 5/5 was not good enough to win with. So you might as well just cancel theirs out. And, like, they still have 4 cards left, so it's kind of like, well, I think if I let this stick, then they're just gonna, like... It's gonna be really problematic, is how I would put it. I don't know. Maybe that's crazy.
I really don't know. I feel like countering this might be correct,
but... And then I'm like, oh god, he has the one of Pyroblast, and it's so bad for me. Like, I'm kind of dead now, I feel like.
Now you're sort of dead unless you find your own Murktide.
I mean, I can always get out of it with Iteration. And I do find another Murktide, so that's, like, fine.
I feel like you definitely... Ooh.
So the question is if you play it this turn. I chose not to because I think getting it dazed is actually the game.
I would not.
And
I would not.
This doesn't actually have to kill itself because next turn I just cast this pre-combat and save it. So... And then Reed has an iteration. Like, this is not really great for me. And I feel like now I'm losing by a lot. Do you agree with that?
Behind.
Yeah.
You're definitely behind because he resolved so many cantrips. Like, he probably just still has spells in hand. He didn't shuffle the ponder.
Yep.
Does he have the Sanctuary?
So Reed was like, I'm not going to play Mystic Sanctuary. It looks not very good. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I am pretty sure he does not have Mystic Sanctuary in his deck. And I'm also pretty sure he would never main deck it, even if he did. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Because it's just, it's too bad when the matchups are fast. Right? Like, that's the issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Side,
and I'm just like, this is really, really bad. So
now you have to like...
So him attacking here is interesting. Because now if I find Brazen Borrow for that and get Delirium somehow, that's actually lethal, right?
Oh, yeah, he would die. You definitely take it.
Yeah, I'm not blocking because now I see winning chances if I get lucky. Which is, better than none at all, right?
Yeah.
And I definitely daze this. I cannot...
Just to surveil. Yeah. Oh, we keep that.
Yeah. And now I'm excited.
Maybe we should have dazed with the Walk. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Because like then you could cast Iteration of Island, but I don't know. It's marginal, I guess.
Don't want that. And now I'm just looking for the
Yeah.
borrower. Nope. Brick. I actually think I would just go for it there and see if my opponent's dead. Because
You're
it's
not dead yet, right?
I mean, true. But if I just hit borrower, oh no, I'm missing a. No, that's sorcery. So if I hit borrower, it's literally lethal, right?
Yeah.
And I think just going for the win, even though
No,
he's
I like going for the win. I'm just saying, I don't think you're dead yet.
yeah.
You just play DRC. Oh, you played Brainstorm second, man. Oh yeah, maybe you should. Yeah, maybe that was fine. Definitely play out DRC and
Yep.
like now you're supposed to like do some weird triple block or something.
Yeah. Give me a hint. There's a spoiler. There's another Murktide, and I'm just like, this is
Okay.
very
GG.
disastrous. Because now I have to throw away 2 creatures into this Murktide because, and now I don't have winning chances whatsoever. So I'm just gonna lose all my creatures to Murktide. And
Yeah.
I think I just cast Ponder and concede, like because it's
No, there is no way out. Not
definitely not that.
anymore.
All right, GG. All right. Well, I mean that was kind of an even game until like my force got power blasted, right? Then it was not even anymore. Like
No.
I was just dead then essentially.
Yeah,
But
I still don't know about the Force of Will. I don't even know what to pitch there. It's kind of
okay.
complicated.
So I cited out 4 Force of Wills, a Force of Negation, and Spell Pierce for the Blast, the Mystic Sanctuary, and then the Festivities.
One end of
One,
festivities.
then the Festivities, because I know Reed doesn't have Young Pyromancer, but I think it's fine to have one. I think it's like better than these other cards on average.
Yeah, it might be true. You might like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is.
I don't think I needed a second one versus him, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Um, Fine hand. Like this is a slow, grindy hand, but my deck is actually set up for that with the Mystic Sanctuary stuff as well. So I'm just gonna keep.
Yeah.
Do you bobble yourself on turn 1?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I
Because
also came to that conclusion.
there's Ponder.
I
I
decided
don't know.
not to keep it, but like
Oh,
maybe I should.
we have iteration in hand. No, it's
Yeah.
fine to shuffle it away, I think.
And I think this is actually like a good safety valve, the dazes, just in case of like, what if Reed just has a bunch of creatures and I get overrun, right?
Yeah, and I'd bobble myself again before playing the fetch, and not a good,
Oh
but
yeah.
we end up fetching anyway. We end up fetching anyway. It
Dude,
doesn't
I'm
matter.
so bad about that. I know I'm supposed to do it playing Shadow as well, but I sometimes I just forget. Like it
Yeah.
definitely costs you a little bit. It doesn't cost you a lot, but it definitely costs you.
No, but like sometimes you might
Mhm.
lose a game because of it.
There's no reason to daze a Delver. I think that's just like kind of maniacal.
Yeah. Well, you depending on how this played out, like you sometimes you would want to daze it there, but because we have
Yeah.
expressive iteration in our hand,
Yeah.
we don't really want. Oh, if we had red mana up, we could have
I
chained back.
know, but he just doesn't cast a chain. Like I think it's fine. I really wanted to play a tap that turn because I think it matters a lot.
The life total matters there. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. No, I think playing the tap makes sense. It's funny though, but like no,
Yeah.
I definitely would play a tap there.
Okay.
That's pretty
So
good. So you want brainstorm and bolt?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So you
I
just
basically
yeah.
just think the creatures do not matter. Like because all of them get killed or whatever, you
Well,
know.
they matter, but yeah, everything dies. So the cards that matter the most are iteration, and then like Pyroblast, Brainstorm, and very late stages, Murktide matters.
Hello, it's time. I hope you are going to enjoy me casting the same card like 5 times.
Mystic Sanctuary advantage. What did Reed say after this match about Mystic Sanctuary?
I think he said it looked so much better than he expected it to be. And I think it's just
you definitely double days, I think.
yeah. And
'Cause it's
you want to float and not like hardcast days, otherwise it can just daze the
yeah,
iteration.
true.
And that's not
Not
exciting, but that's
the
fine.
best cards, but we were fine with that.
And this time I
Protect
remember,
Sanctuary.
this time
Yeah,
I
this
do it
time we
right. So
put it back.
I just keep all the spells and I play the Delver out. Wait, oh, I
Oh, we
ponder?
cast Ponder.
Oh, just
It sort of makes sense because you have these. And also this way you can draw Pyroblast and Murktide and then shuffle away the Wasteland. That's kind of good.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's definitely good. I think casting upon it there definitely makes
Except
sense.
if I was going to do that, I should have stacked the other order. So that's like really baffling.
Oh,
I fucked
yeah.
this up. Like I don't even know. Like I think I probably just I needed to spend more time thinking about it.
Well, maybe you were like thinking you were holding up the blast for an iteration or something.
And then I decided not to. Yeah, maybe.
And then you decided not to. Oh, this is weird.
So do you know why Reed wasted me?
Because of Sanctuary.
Yeah, he learned the lesson. Well, I already showed him it, and he already knew about it. But I mean, like clearly Ichikawa did not know about it until like it was literally too late, right?
There is an issue with playing the volcanic here. I feel like.
What's the issue?
Well, we draw this wasteland that I don't want to draw.
Oh, I see. But I wanted to leave up the blast.
I think no, but like we could have fetched and just abandoned the Mystic Sanctuary to draw a real card. I feel like that's not that crazy.
Okay, fair enough.
One thing you could have done as well is, I think in the brainstorm there was a way to, like, just keep a million fetch lands, and then you wouldn't have had this issue.
Fair enough. And yeah,
like so then you would have been able to fetch away a wasteland, draw a real card or like a random card, then still have the sanctuary.
So yeah, I don't bother Pyroblasting this because it's so soft to daze to do that. Like, and I can just recast this as maximum size next turn anyways. So like, who cares, right? Maybe that's crazy. I don't think it's actually crazy. And I would like to point out, if his fetches were accessing
Sanctuary, yeah.
this game would be so convoluted. I don't know what would actually happen. Like,
well, he would definitely get back Pyroblast sometimes.
Yeah, but that's like that makes the game harder for me, right? Like,
yeah.
Also, I just realized if I was going to do that, I should have played my Murktide first because it gets bigger from returning the thing as well. So that's also a mistake I just noticed.
You could also just not play the Murktide here and just flash in Bora.
That's my opponent's borrower.
Oh, my god.
I mean, I would flash in borrower if I had one, but I don't. So.
Oh, I forgot that it's his Bora. I don't know. It was like on your side, so I thought it's.
Oh yeah. But that's because the Adventure Zone is like.
I get confused.
Yeah. And this is a tough way to do it, but it's better.
Ooh.
So remember when I didn't?
It actually mattered.
Yeah, I got. That was so awful. I mean, I think I'm still ahead, but
yeah, you're definitely ahead.
And I mean,
very much ahead because Mystic Sanctuary is pretty good.
Yeah, and I think I'm okay trading because I'm low on life and I have more resources. So, and I also haven't.
It totally makes sense to just keep the the Pyroblast is of higher value than Delver here for sure, because it just makes you able to answer their Murktides or whatever they draw.
And also, if I leave this in play, it's a good way to use End the Festivities if I haven't used it. So, just a lot of. I think blasting that is definitely worth it, though. So.
Oh yeah, always. Now we just bold and shove.
Yep.
Pass probably. Or you cast it. I guess if you find another threat, it's pretty good. Yeah, and maybe casting it is correct. Yeah.
I'm always keeping one Daze in hand so I can pick up the Sanctuary in case if he casts something.
Well, you could have like dazed yourself and pick it up anyway, right?
So I think that game I just like kind of ran him out of the room with this card, right? Like it was really, really good this game, you know?
Oh yeah, I totally agree that Sanctuary was good there.
Now we're finally going to get to Game 3, which is the complete opposite of the other two games, which is kind of funny.
The pure madness.
Yeah.
This is the game I have seen.
Wait, is this the right game? Oh, I think this is the right game, and I think I just keep this hand. I basically... So, well, let's explain real quick. This hand has no removal, but you have, like, a bunch of lands, a Bauble, and a Brainstorm, and a Daze. I don't think you're really allowed to mulligan these hands, given how resource-intensive the games get, if someone doesn't get killed immediately.
Yeah, you have a lot of looks for removal. You
Sure.
like bubble yourself and you brainstorm. You have a lot of looks for creatures. You're gonna find something.
And a blast is like if I really need to kill a Delver, then I can do that. I don't think the Delver is a good draw. I don't know how you feel about that.
Um, you might be right about that. It's not good in the mirror for sure. Yeah, like in general, I feel like the cards that matter in the mirror are Pyroblast, Bolt, Iteration, Brainstorm, DRC to an extent, Murktide. So yeah, I can see that.
So Reed wastes me here, so I pyro. And I'm just like I'm kind of hoping he just like casts
Is
something.
is this hand normally a mull?
No, not in the
No,
mirror
no,
matches.
not. I don't think it's just the mull in general. It's just
Yeah.
like a keep. It's just always a keep. It's just like the hand has issues. It's just like you're not like very fast. You're like brainstorming before you do anything, which might be an issue.
So I could have wasted there, but the problem with doing that is I don't have any removal. So if I just waste and they untap and play a threat, it's kind of bad to do that, I think.
They definitely have another land.
Yeah.
Like we know that they have another land because they kept the ponder.
Yep.
And
And I,
also yeah, it's really weird if you like are not able to brainstorm. Do you daze here?
I think so. Like I don't have any removal for it. And I can float a
Like
blue to play around their days.
it delays your brainstorm so long, but
I
yeah,
know,
maybe.
but I thought it was worth it, so I did it.
The key to winning in Legacy is never mulligan. That's what people say about limited as well.
So is Legacy just booster draft? Is that why I win so much in both?
Maybe those are that's why you're the best at those formats.
And look, I played the island just blind, and well, I mean, there's reasons to play the island actually, so not really blind.
Yeah.
And he's not doing anything, so I'm like trying to figure out what's in his hand, and I really can't come up with a lot of.
It's probably like cantrips. Oh, that's good. The good spot to respond
Yeah,
to brainstorm. It's probably like cantrips, iteration, pyroblast, murktide, something like that. It's in his hand.
maybe.
Yeah, definitely it's something like iteration. So he iterates, and was that the one where he found
He
the gold?
removes Bolt. I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? How is that his best card possible? And he just bolts me down to 12. I'm just like, this is really weird because I don't really think that 3 damage matters right here whatsoever.
Bad iteration. Oh yeah, here's the spot with like I
So
remember this one. I
I
saw it.
actually went back and watched his side, and he could have taken a land instead. Oh, I don't know. This is so weird. He could have just like exiled a land. So I don't know what was going on here. Yeah, he could have taken island. I'm just like I think island is higher value. No, I
Than
went
the bolt.
HC Fox. I literally went back and watched this from the other side. It was Bolt Island something else. Probably a spell, but I don't know. It was so weird that I just got bolted to his
So
face right there.
the situation is actually really interesting. He has Wasteland, and you
Yeah,
have a volcanic island on top. So
yeah,
like, if you fetch, he might waste you, and then you only have one more red source. And then if he has another Wasteland, it's really annoying.
right.
But if you redraw the volcanic island, then you're like stuck with this volcanic island. So I'm not sure if you really want that. Um, I don't know what's correct here. I feel like fetching is correct because we have so many more relevant cards in our deck than this other volcanic island,
Yeah,
which are
I
like
agree.
iteration, Murktide, Pyroblast. The well, Daze is not good here, but like brainstorms, any threads.
Hmm.
I don't know. And even if he has the second wasteland after this, you are also like able to just brainstorm and like you
Yeah,
have an extra draw here. It's just so weird to like fetch to like not fetch there. But yeah, obviously he's gonna waste now.
and then I just play my DRC. Obviously, it sucks not to get to brainstorm, but I think it actually is correct not to brainstorm right there.
Yeah, because like you don't really want to put back anything like other than Brazen Bora is like the only card that you want to like get rid of. I feel like.
Alright, who can waste who out now? God. I think I come to a conclusion that wasting him here is not even good. Like, right away it's not good, but here next turn it might be good, you know?
Yeah, wasting right away doesn't really do anything because like then if he plays a Murktide, our Brazen Boar or like our Petty Theft would be playing into a daze. I would actually have played the second Wasteland here.
Yeah,
Like now
so
he didn't use his mana, so the only
yeah.
cards he could have is like Interaction, Cantrips, Brainstorm. Not the other cantrips he would have cast. Interaction, Brainstorm, and Brazen Boar is like the only cards he could have, or maybe a Murktide that he's slow rolling. But
Yeah,
like
so this was a mistake, I think. Yeah.
just like double wastelanding him here makes a lot more sense because we know he missed land drop and we would have gotten him down to one land. Oh, he has the Brazen Bora, yeah.
And he has no land again next turn, so I'm smelling blood in the water now. Like,
You definitely brainstorm.
yeah.
And
I'm just
there's
like,
another wasteland. So I'm like,
I
yeah,
just redraw one of the wastelands, I think.
I
But
definitely, yeah, I definitely would like put back one wasteland, but I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure. Maybe you're supposed to keep all of them. It's actually interesting.
so I daze here to protect my red source for a little bit. I'm pretty sure that's correct.
It's probably correct, yeah, because they're not gonna play a
Yeah.
Dazeable spell anytime soon with this Wasteland in play.
And I'm just gonna waste them off like the source. And Delver's in a fantastic draw
Well,
there.
I guess they would have used the Wasteland, but like, they're not gonna play a Murktide that we have to Daze anyway. That's what I'm saying.
Right. And all of the creatures are dying, but I'm slightly ahead. And there's the fourth wasteland. Just
We just redraw the fourth Wasteland for
it's
some
just
reason
like what the hell.
after we shuffled it away.
And I'm like, this is what I mean about all three types of Delver games. This is the third type of game where literally all of the wastelands are drawn. People have very low land counts. It's just like kind of bananas, honestly. And I'm playing the vent stab because I think the life might matter.
You're at 9, yeah. It's funny because
He's the one who bolted me, but he's like lower on life.
1, 2, 3. Both players used all 4 Wastelands. Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
And so, like, if you analyze what happened in this game, and you look at the graveyard, he almost certainly has a daze at this point. But the problem with not casting it here is if I just wait 1, 2, 3, 4. My only land left in deck is actually Mystic Sanctuary, so I can't even play around daze immediately. So I think I should just cast it. Is that crazy?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't think I can actually play around days ever. Like, it's actually almost impossible. And yeah, he has it, but if he wants to play it untapped, it costs him 2 life as well. So it's like it's not actually very free as well. And this is really good.
You're gonna be stuck on 2 lands for a while, yeah. So you probably have to cast it.
And he dazes that.
One way to play around his days.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's no really no. You'd have to find another fetch and then play a tapped sanctuary. It's funny that your sanctuary would have been tapped the whole game because there's no fourth island. Like, yeah.
This is this is like the other sort of Delver game that can happen that I don't think actually happens that often anymore.
Yeah.
I do that because if he has days, I want him to daze that.
Well,
Instead
these
of the
Delver
Murktide.
decks operate much better on 1 land than 2. Not than 2. On 1 land than old Delver decks. So like getting Wastelanded out doesn't happen that often.
Yeah. I wanted him to have to use. I wanted him. I basically, if my Delver flipped and didn't die, I wanted to use that. But maybe I was supposed to put the Murktide on top. And yeah, DRC is a big factor in the reason why that happens nowadays, I think. And, well, Reed's at 1. I have a Bolt in hand, and all the creatures are trading off, and his land's Steam Vent, so I don't really know what he could have that, like, wins anymore, right? And -2. This is an unhinged game. Like, seriously, look at how many wastelands. Look at what turn it is, and look at how many lands people have. It's just like
Are all his volcanic islands dead? 1, 2.
all of his are. Mine survived because I think Steamens got killed instead, or I don't know what happened. Like that's wait one.
If he didn't have the steam vents in his deck, he wouldn't have a red source, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess if he played Mountain, he would have, but
Anyways,
Mountain is.
that game was kind of sick. Like that match was kind of sick, actually.
That was definitely an interesting one. Yeah.
You don't really see that many matches like that anymore. I feel like that just literally showed 3 different types. All right. I forgot to start recording this one until like turn 3 versus Aussie.
Oh, this versus Woke.
Yeah.
Um,
And Aussie missed a land drop on turn 2, and he's forcing a daze on Ponder. So my suspicion is that means land white.
I would force the Ponder here and pitch iteration, I think.
I chose not to, but I definitely could see.
No, so like, I mean, usually I would not, but like
Mhm.
our iterations, we only have one mana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like our iterations are like stuck in our hand anyway, right?
Yeah.
I guess we draw Brainstorm and it's fine now. But I would have that's one of the few situations where I would have forced the Ponder, I think.
Now
Like
I have to.
usually I
Yeah.
would not, but here we draw the other. Yeah, I mean, we drew Brainstorm into another blue-red source, which makes it fine. But like, if we did, imagine if we didn't draw that right away. If we just drew like
Right.
removal or one drop, or like we had to like cantrip first or whatever,
Oh,
then like.
I'm gonna speed it up, even though I think Aussie does play pretty fast. It's just the matches naturally take kind of long. Sanctuary being the second land means I think land light as well.
Well, he is definitely land light. When he protects his Ponder there. But like, yeah.
Use or not use more basics. I don't think you can really play more basics personally.
Well, I think you can. It's depending on like what your opponents play. What do you expect? Like if everyone runs back to basics, I'm willing to put island and mountain into my deck. But I'm not doing that that like I wouldn't do it just like by default. I
Agreed.
would also like try your mana base first. Like I feel like if you have to play with Mountain to see its downsides. I have definitely played with Mountain, and I felt like I don't know. It's like it's different now because obviously you have different one drops. You have like Izzet Delver now instead of Ragavan,
I
or like not
guess
instead.
I got
Yeah, we definitely
I
good
got
spell
that
pierce.
spell pierce. That spell pierce is obviously excellent. And yeah, now it's kind of
Yeah.
all rolled up to win, you know?
Yeah, so this game was free.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're. I think Ozzy kept 7, but like, as he said in the chat, he doesn't like to mulligan, I feel like. And yeah, I'm forcing this every time.
I
Murktide
don't
go
know.
burr.
I feel like he probably was supposed to keep that hand. Like Tropical Ponder Forest seems
Yeah.
fine in any control deck.
Well, no, I think what happened was he kept 7, went land go, missed on 2, and then pondered on 3. So, but maybe just one land ponder means you're supposed to keep.
Well, not always, but if you have Force of Will, I feel like if you only have one land Ponder and like only clunky spells, I would mulligan. But if you have Force of Will as well,
So Magic Maniacs on mirror basics are really good. Yes and no. The problem is if you fetch too many basics, you still can't cast your spells. Like that literally happens. So I don't think it's very simple. If you want to play basics, go ahead. But I'm telling you that there's a real downside.
yeah.
I think it's fine to play the island for sure, though. Like, I also have like I don't know how to feel about this, but I kind of feel like Fawn is not that good in these matchups sometimes, but it's kind of hard to describe why.
I feel like you need to have it in your deck.
Yeah.
Like it's not good, but like I guess it depends on like how you construct your deck and how you plan to sideboard.
So I almost dazed that brainstorm because he led with Sanctuary, but
I
hmm,
don't feel like you can date there.
yeah,
Him leading with Sanctuary just means like even if he has 3 lands, he'll just lead with Sanctuary. I don't
sure.
know. It's like it doesn't mean too much.
Anyways, I cannot waste this fast enough.
Yeah.
And like I feel good about this game, but and I definitely feel good about that. And I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to daze this or not. I chose not to, but maybe I'm supposed to.
I think I would snap these that because like
Yeah.
having the second Delver in play, ooh, that's annoying now.
Yeah. This didn't work out great. Yeah, I think in retrospect that might have been one of the reasons this game
Just
didn't go great for me.
just a good old Delver Dam game.
Yeah.
Put back. I think submerge and yeah, probably bolt. Probably correct to do it this
Yeah,
way.
I'm giving them a bunch of mana for their carpet, which is kind of annoying, but
We are
whatever.
searching for like surgical threats. Pyroblast is probably fine. The days in the wasteland aren't great. It's
Yeah,
kind of weird. This ponder is weird because like you want the pyro, but you don't want the other 2 cards. You could make an argument for like wasteland being good enough because you can like waste her trop and then they
right.
have like awkward mana, maybe awkward colors at least or something.
So do you
Double
do?
days Hull
Yeah,
creature. Probably yes,
but I know
actually.
about the Pyroblast on top, right? So
Yeah, but the days are like. Well, I guess you don't want to like.
here I just like I just
Oh,
spaced out, and I think this actually ends up costing me the game. I just space out and click on the wrong thing first, and then I'm like,
whoops.
yeah, it's just so bad to do this. Obviously, like,
Yeah, that's annoying, and that happens.
and it's still
Sometimes,
correct. It's still correct to kill it right now because if they get to
yeah,
untap, but like,
sometimes our brains just misfire.
it's kind of weird. Like I thought it like I don't even know how it happened really, except like it just happened, you
Yeah,
know?
sometimes things like these happen. Some whoopsies.
I mean, obviously just like throwing a ponder into the trash is a good way to lose a game, you know?
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I feel like um I would have probably double dazed the hull breacher in the first place because I feel like Pyroblast has more value than 2 dazes in this game state simply because
That's
they have
fair as
carpet in
well, yeah.
play. So like the dazes, like um the only argument to not do that is that you have 2 iterations and a ponder in your hand, and you kind of don't want to bounce your lands. But I feel like the game's gonna go long anyway, so
Hmm.
I'm fine casting my cantrips later
Right.
if I have an extra Pyroblast for it
Yeah.
in a return.
Yeah, maybe just dazing
But
the force on the Delver would have been really good
yeah,
this
well,
game,
like yeah,
actually.
all these things don't matter if we go back to just dazing their force,
Yeah.
because then he probably has enough. He probably finds a way to kill the second Delver, but then like he has to like he has to like have he definitely takes like I would say at least 9 damage or 6 damage,
Right.
and then like that also matters because at that point you like
Hmm.
you just need to like hit him with like a Murktide once or twice. Like you need to hit him with like a DRC 3 times or something only. I don't know. I also felt like the dazes were never gonna get much better, but yeah.
So now even a fetch is a good draw for me because I can just rebuy Sanctuary iteration.
Like usually I would not counter removal in these
So
matchups.
I
Uh,
decide I
oh, the
decide
blast split, the
eh,
blast split.
yeah.
Oh, he could have plow as well though, right?
Yeah, but I just wanted to see if it was safe. Like, it doesn't cost me that much. I mean, I guess it cost me something, but I
No,
think
no,
it's
but I mean, I'm saying you could have extracted plow instead of pyroblast. Isn't that maybe better? Because like he will for sure have 3 more plows in his deck, but he might have like a weird blast split, and then he has like only one
sure.
blast in his deck.
Okay, I think that's probably correct then. Yeah, that's probably a mistake too.
Like drawing blast is obviously good for him, but like he's more likely like we just want to cheese him
Hmm.
now, right? So like you kind of just want to reduce his outs. Oh, he has an endurance.
I
He
believe
should not
endurance.
shuffle your
Yeah, I
graveyard.
believe endurance
Okay,
targets no one.
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, definitely makes sense. Spellbeer is not a great draw here.
I mean, we know his last card is Fluster, so we have a little bit of time to try to just like kill him. Like, well, we're actually slightly favored on this board state, despite making some mistakes. I think, but the mistakes obviously matter. You know.
Oh, he didn't. He didn't use the carbon mana. I think. What if you just pierce days this ponder? Oh, then he still has 1 mana left. Oh.
No, I don't. Yeah,
I guess then he still has the 1 carbon mana.
right.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah. Why is he?
He's just afraid of like Brazen Bar. Like, there's no like.
Oh, that makes
I
sense.
think
No,
it
that,
actually makes a lot of sense not to take actions.
yeah. No, that's definitely fine. I forgot that there's Brazen Boy. I was like, maybe he's like thinking about Ragavan, but it's banned, like or something.
Well, there's the person who won the challenge and didn't realize Ragavan was banned. Bob showed me the screenshot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the person was just like they didn't realize it. So do you? I decided forcing this brainstorm is actually good.
um, yeah.
I mean, it. I basically traded 2 cards for a card because the fluster is out of their hand now, so brainstorm only gets 1 card.
Oh, I'm not sure if it's good anymore. I thought we were able to pay for the brainstorm. For
You
the
mean the
fluster.
fluster? Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure if it's good anymore. I thought like if you force it and they can't fluster your force, then it would have been definitely good. Oh, yeah, that's nice. No,
Yeah, but I
that's
still have
nice
to
as
draw
always.
something. You know.
And that's why he should have done everything pre-combat. 3 damage missed. Not that it matters. Maybe he was double queuing. I don't know.
He definitely was double queuing. He made top 8 of both of them, both of the events at the same time, which is kind
Let
of
me see.
insane if you think about it as
Oh,
well.
aren't we are supposed to bounce a enter, right?
Oh, for brainstorm, yeah, probably.
Yeah, but like it doesn't matter now.
So that means he must have drawn something.
It was a Doomsday player. they just they
Yeah, it
still they
was.
still play Doomsday. They're like, I don't give a fuck about this monkey. I'm just gonna cast my Doomsday. That's the spirit.
So you sanctuary back
That's why I like trying.
iteration, but the question is, what do you surgical?
Um,
It's either Reb or Foul.
well, I don't remember what we saw in their deck with the last surgical.
Hmm.
If they had more fouls, I would have taken the fouls.
Yeah, I think that's the conclusion I came to.
But they have the red blast in hand. Did they have a way to manipulate their card? Oh, was it from the brainstorm maybe? Oh, maybe we should have taken red blast actually, because like he's more likely to leave that in his hand.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he's also likely to have force of will. I don't know. Probably just
So
unlucky.
I decide sanctuarying back the iteration doesn't even make sense if it's just going to get rebbed, because it's like kind of doesn't accomplish anything.
Well, at some point you might want to do that because then your next Murktide or whatever.
Sure.
Well, I guess if you draw Murktides, you could just pass and step. Oh, there's Ura.
Yeah.
No, we're
No.
probably just dying. Yeah.
I don't know what happens if I take the reb instead and resolve that iteration. It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
But now I don't have any surgicals left in my deck either, so it's like pretty hard to win versus Uro. So, oh no, you know what I can do? I can just
Yeah,
sanctuary the
you just
surgical,
surgical
but
their
that's
Euro, but
not
you
that
just
very. Like I'm probably losing still, but I
you
guess.
have to do it, I think.
Yeah.
Because Ura is infinite cards and infinite life and infinite six attacks. Six attacks.
Yeah. I wait until draw step. I think like I kind of have to just try to extract the value.
Well, they could have. I don't like that actually because they could have like force of will.
No,
They
we
could have.
extracted force of will.
Oh no, then it makes sense. Well, you give them a free shuffle here though.
Yeah, I know.
Did
And
they
now,
have that 1 mana? Did they have that 1 mana? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. And also
Yeah,
with the Reb Tarn Plow, I think I'm just like 100% dead. Like it's
yeah.
so hard to come back from that from this board state. I guess I can start bubbling myself or bubble them. I mean, I guess like if I draw only iterations, I can win, right?
Yeah.
Dude, how many iterations do I actually have in my deck right now? I only think I used one this game, right? So they're gonna Reb. I'm going to Daze just to pick up the Sanctuary to put iteration back on top. I'm pretty sure this is correct. Because, like, what the fuck is Daze doing, right? Pop is only out. But then Pop would just be a draw. Whereas, like, if I just start iterating, I might win instead.
Oh, mm, yeah.
I don't think you want to put Pop in your modern era blue-red decks. Well,
Maybe sometimes. If everyone starts playing mono duels again, I'll do it.
I'll let
Oh,
you do
actually
it.
not, because then I will probably play Blood Moon. So
Alright, well, let's see. Do I change anything?
we didn't have the fourth Pyroblast in our deck.
I kind of sometimes found it was awkward versus Bant, actually.
No, you have to leave that in.
Okay.
No. I just can't believe that's correct. Just can't. If you have too many Pyroblasts, just counter their Brainstorm or whatever. Just
Okay.
like no.
Is the Tim says one of my losses yesterday was to his second price of progress. That says
That,
lands,
well,
like which is
that's why you Snapcaster your pops. Obviously, it's like the first one never makes it. You just give them the double trouble. Put
double
it onto this
trouble.
deck, 10 damage.
All
They're
right,
like,
whatever.
ooh, 10 damage doesn't matter. And I'm like, haha, I have flashback my press of progress.
I think that sounds very Christmas landy nowadays, especially with Uro involved.
Yeah, it's not good against Uro. It's also kind of bad against Carpet. Like people tend to like play Carpet and like brainstorm away their lands because they have Carpet and so on.
Mind flip. So I thought about this for a while. I thought Volk was like, yeah, I kind of hate this. I think I should have just played a threat.
Yeah, why didn't
I
we
don't
had the
know.
Wasteland, right? We had the Wasteland.
Dude, what the fuck am I doing? This is so tilting. Doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Because like you're gonna Wasteland anyway, right? So like finding
Yeah,
a land doesn't really do much.
dude, that's super sad. That's mind boggling that I did that. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so they would have been at 10 there already.
Yeah, this is like, and now like, even the carpet for one is still plenty good. Like, yeah, that's like a pretty good exchange.
Isn't there another days?
Yeah, I knew about it.
Yeah,
Do you play threat or brainstorm?
I play threads. I don't give a fuck. They can't waste on me. so I play my threat.
So it worked out better for me, but
Oh yeah, now we drew land. So, but what do you even put back? Like, um, this is too hard. This is just too hard. Yeah, you're also tanking on it. It's like I don't know.
I think I
I
should
really
have
don't know what.
actually ended. I should have put back the Court of Cunning. I think, in
That's what I
reality,
was thinking at first, but
yeah.
like I don't know how long the game goes. But they have 4 cards in hand. Yeah, maybe you should put back the cord. This card ended up being dead in our hand a lot in this tournament. But that's mostly because of how we played, I feel like.
Yeah, I found it to be a lot better than this normally, but I think I just started playing poorly with the card.
Like, well, it's like people have more flesh threats in these stupid hull
Mhm.
breacher decks, so like you need to play it differently.
Also, not having the days in my hand instead of this card is so awful. I think.
Oh yeah. This is one of the few situations where mountain would be good. It's one less
Yep.
carpet mana.
Not thrilled about how this game happened. Although I feel like I'm okay if this is what's happening. Like if there's just a bunch of brainstorms and no action on the board, that's like obviously great for me. But I feel like there's about to be like
Well,
something that
getting
I want to
brainstorming
days.
probably increases their chances of having prismatic ending
Yeah.
and plow and whatever. And usually, I don't want to be in a spot against these decks where like I have to have my threats live to kill them. Like, for example, like shuffling away this iteration from before.
Yeah,
I don't
that was
know. I feel like it's
yeah.
it's probably better to have iteration in your hand than this chord or something like that.
Also, I want to ask, why do all of these opponents have so many Flusterstorms in versus me?
Well, they want to counter expressive iteration. I think that's the main reason.
Oh, okay, I guess
Other
that
than
makes
that,
sense.
like I don't like. It all started from Anorak being envious of people drawing cards versus him. I don't
That
know if it's correct, but I think that's what they have it for. I don't think it's necessarily bad in this matchup, but I also question whether or not it's correct to be for like to have all these fluster storms. This is Ura, what? It's the fairy. Oh, that's annoying.
So, do you play out Court of Cunning or do you play out DRC on this turn cycle?
I play the chord, I think, if we play a land. If we draw land.
Well, I know there's a steam fence on top.
Oh, we kept. Oh, I thought we
Yeah.
milled. Oh, we kept the steamers. Yeah, we played a chord, I think. Even if they are on 5.
Yeah, I was checking how many bolts were in my deck and there were 0. Which maybe is an error too, but I don't think I don't know. I
I
found
always I
it's
always leave in at least 2 bolts in any
sure.
matchup. I don't know. Unless I'm playing against combo decks.
Dude,
Because
this
like
is
there's
so
point buffers too.
miserable.
Oh, they
Look
have
at this.
Narset. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
now it wouldn't even matter. If we play the DRC, they would just plow it because they have plow.
yeah, I think I'm supposed to leave in 2 bolts. Also just for these situations, like maybe you get to like get lucky.
No, no. I mean, I don't want Bolt in my deck to go upstairs. It's just
Yeah,
like
but I'm saying in this situation it would be
in this
nice. Like
situation, it would be nice to have it. Yeah,
and also I could just kill the Narset. But also now I'm just dying to Hole Breacher as
yeah. Or
well.
we could just kill the Teferi and have Thesis alive or
Yeah.
something. It
It's
doesn't
just
matter.
So
Are we
Louis,
not supposed to try
well,
to move
let me
out?
explain what happens if you mill them here. You will get Urod immediately, and then you will lose the Monarch, and then you will be dead. Like,
The
literally.
problem is if you mill them, you can't cast Surgical because of Teferi in play, and then they just cast Ura.
Yeah, exactly. This is a very common dynamic with Court of Cunning. You don't actually mill them until you can handle all of the Uros that they get back.
Yeah, I mean, if there was no Teferi, I think you would have milled him. But like the Teferi prevents you from Surgicaling the Ura. Oh, you mill in your upkeep is what you're saying? Oh,
Yeah,
I thought it mills end step for some reason. My bad. Oh yeah, maybe then we were supposed to mill. I don't know. I forgot that it mills in our upkeep actually.
But I also thought the life points from the surgical
Also
might matter.
huh. One of the turns, yeah, we couldn't have milled because we didn't have the surgical.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to mill without the surgical. That is just literally you're conceding the game, I think.
But yeah, I forgot that like we can't use we can use the surgical after we milled.
But yeah, I'm like 9,000% dead. Also, to fairy bouncing carpet, I didn't realize that that's how that works, but that's kind of nuts, actually.
Dark ritual.
Yo, you love Dark Ritual.
Yeah,
It's just
I
not
would
very.
cast it if it would be good.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say.
would I would have like I would have strongly considered playing Doomsday in this event if I wasn't double queuing and playing Reanimator.
I'll give you a hint. Doomsday got fucking annihilated in this event.
Yeah, I also realized why. Like everybody was playing Hull Breachers.
Yeah, if when your control matchup is bad, I started knowing them just because like whatever. Like now I'm just dead. Yeah, I just said yeah. Not much interesting. I'm like 1,000% dead. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we have one more match. This person's deck is very interesting. I believe they were Naya Enchantress. And I'm just like, this is
Oh,
not.
that's Spatula of the Ages.
Yes,
That
I knew
player always plays
I
Enchantress.
knew it was going to be Enchantress. I just didn't know what form. You know.
Oh yeah, you never know. You never know. This
Okay.
hand's kind of slow that we have here.
Yeah, I just don't like mulliganing a hand that has Daze versus that deck because I think Daze is so insane versus Enchantress.
I agree with that. Oh, there's no Agrothian Enchantress. That's good for us. Now we just cast Anticipate.
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't do this, and I think it's 100% right to do it here. Like,
Well, I think in this situation it's fairly obvious because you have three.
because I have
Well, I
three
guess
of them. Yeah,
some people might still not do it. Yeah, I don't
yeah.
know.
I think you should always do it here. And I'm like, oh, Sithis, I was I can bolt that. And I'm like, Seal Fire. I'm like, what
Is
the
it on
heck?
fire? What is
It's like,
happening?
yeah, don't, I don't really know what's going on anymore.
This is troll. It's very troll.
And I'm definitely going to Sithis. Like, you just can't let Avian Enchantresses live. And now that they play Enchantresses that can target with removal spells, I am definitely using my removal spells on them. I'm like, this is a little bit tragic, but whatever. I'm
That
like,
is definitely tragic.
Molten Vortex. I'm like, what? Do they have
Are
like
you even
Loam?
supposed to counter the Molten
I
Vortex?
think so because what happens if they just happen to have Loam in their deck? That was what I
Yeah,
was
but like
thinking about.
the Molten Vortex still doesn't kill Merc. Oh, I guess with the Seal of Fire, maybe. I just found like we only have iteration in our hand. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're making yourself so like if you didn't Druid's Brainstorm, you wouldn't have been able to kill the Sithis. Like
Yeah,
if you don't
fair.
daze the Vortex, you can iteration into Bolt.
That's fair, I suppose. But
Yeah.
yeah, maybe.
It's kind of risky to counter that board. Like I don't know. I can see the vortex like being an issue, but we have force of negation for
Well,
loam anyway,
so
right?
the other reason I shouldn't have done this was look at how many red sources they have.
Oh, they only have one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just
true.
like,
It's not. It's not gonna do much.
yeah,
Yeah.
Destiny Spender
Oh,
is like
that's an
another
annoying.
target. Well, there's another target for my bolt at
It's
least.
good for us. Yeah, but
And Valakut Exploration, I'm like,
what is this? What is this
so
list? It
obviously I've looked at their
spicy.
deck list now, but at the time I'm just like, okay, so I was trying to figure out what was going on, and
Lance
I was
Enchantress.
about to say the only way all of these cards make sense together are if you put Exploration in your deck, right? Like otherwise it doesn't really make a lot of
Yeah.
sense. Cast Out is
Cast.
definitely yeah. I mean like that card makes sense for their deck.
Yeah, sure. Oh, cast out is good if you have loam or something like that.
I mean, sort of. I
Because you can
guess.
like instant speed cycle for the loam.
Yeah.
Like good, good is an exaggeration, I guess, but can use it.
I'm just gonna waste them to cut off a like that's so much mana. Like maybe there's something disastrous that happens off that much white mana.
You definitely kill Sanctum. The card is broken.
It's like their Guy's Cradle.
It's like the only card that is broken in this deck, actually. Well, I
Oh,
guess Argothian
I think
Enchantress is
Argothian
also kind of
Enchantress
broken.
is pretty broken, but
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
yeah.
Okay, they'll use their Seal of Fire. More Destiny Spinner fun.
I think another Murktide is lethal here if I draw one.
Even the legacy version. Oh, maybe you should have pre. Oh no, you can't. Oh, you should have pre-combat pondered, right?
Yeah, because I reread it and I'm like, wait, shit, I fucked up. And there's the Murktide, so I missed out on damage.
Yeah, it was like if there wasn't a Destiny Spinner in play, I think it's fine to just attack and pass. But like the Destiny Spinner makes your force not live anyway, so it doesn't.
Yeah, so I would have put them to 1, which is definitely a relevant cutoff because then they can't use any fetch lands.
Oh yeah, you would have put them to 1. It wouldn't have killed them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely a mistake, obviously, but you know.
They're dead anyway, right? Unless
I
they
think
have.
so. Like I mean there are cards that they can have that win the game here, honestly, which is kind of terrifying.
What could they have? The Tension Sphere.
They could have had if they went Argothian
Enchantress
into
plus
if they went
Ghostly Prison. No, you
Argothian.
don't
No,
have
they didn't
enough.
have enough mana. Okay, the problem was mana, I guess. They could have chained like 2 on Thin Ices, I guess.
Yeah, they could have had.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have had that.
But Hole Breacher is so insane versus stack. Like
It's
for
extremely good versus.
note for people at home, one of the reasons Enchantress disappeared from Legacy was Leovold, and Hole Breacher is just a better Leovold, like a lot of the time.
Court of Cunning. Definitely bring that in. I would not side up Brazen Boar.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out what to cut because I kind of have a lot of cards.
Oh, that's actually interesting. Against old enchanters, you would always just cut the bolts, but no.
But now they have Sithis, I don't think you can actually cut Bolt because Sithis, like,
Yeah.
Sithis gains so much life that I think is actually relevant. I actually think Daze is not
Grievous.
great versus them because of Utopia Sprawl and shit. But I left in 2.
But you said you kept the hand because it has Daze versus Enchantress. That's kind of a contradiction.
Yeah,
There.
I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy. But I also thought my other cards post board are just better. Maybe I shouldn't have Submergent, actually.
Yeah, Submerge looks less good than any of the bolts.
Yeah. Oh, Spirit of the Labyrinth versus Enchantress sounds painful too. Okay, I didn't even consider that.
That's sad. Oh yeah, cutting the baubles makes sense. Just cut the baubles.
I actually changed my mind at the last second, I think.
If you never know, I would have sided in End of Festivities, I think.
Because it kills Argothian?
Yeah, it kills Argothian.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Yeah,
I also forgot until now. I don't know if it's. Yeah, no, I think you have to bring that in. Yeah, I would have probably sided a little bit differently, but like it's also Enchantress who plays against that deck anymore nowadays. I don't even know like how to sideboard.
Oh, that's one of the advantages of playing an off the beaten path deck.
They were 6-2 or what is that?
Yeah, they were 6-2.
Impressive. Well, I guess they're also an Enchantress one-trick pony, but like, it's kind of impressive with this deck.
Yeah.
Oh no, we have that Force of Negation disaster already again.
And we also don't have our End of the Festivities that we didn't.
Oh, they left up red mana because like to represent blast, or maybe they had blast. Interesting.
Well, they had to wait. Oh, I don't. That's. I guess it was blast. Yeah.
How dare you call us one-trick ponies? One-trick ponies. I'm sorry. You can take it as an insult, but also as a compliment, right?
It's a backhanded compliment.
It's definitely both. Yeah. I could call. I mean, you could call these people also specialists of their craft.
I don't even know if I'm supposed to keep this Bonder. It feels like I am, but
I also don't know. I kind of want to find Wasteland with my cantrips here. Oh no, it's Destiny Spinner. Well, it's definitely good to have at least one bolt, so keeping the Ponder makes sense. Or maybe like brainstorming away one of the bolts wasn't what we were supposed to do.
So why did I force that?
I don't know.
Because I was
You're like
afraid of
afraid of
some
like
follow up that play that turn, but there's like not. What can
they
they
only
even
have two
do?
mana, right? They already
Yeah,
played their land, right? So
that's kind of weird. I think that was a punt actually. Now I look at it,
maybe you were just zoning out already.
but
It's like the
this
last round of the tournament.
this is a bad matchup to zone out in.
That's true, because if you counter the wrong spell, you're dead.
Well, also like, and I shuffled that blunder. I don't think it was actually good. I think I'm just digging to try to make a big Murktide was my reasoning.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just gonna like EOT bold untap lane Murktide and hope it's good enough.
Yeah, they usually play like even weirder builds.
I remember they used to be Abzan for Doomwake Giant a while
I mean,
ago.
they have black a lot. They have blue sometimes, I think. Now they're playing red.
I
I like
mean,
Seal of Fire. Seal of Fire is a good card, sort of.
Steelfire is
Well,
one of my favorite cards.
it's just like sometimes it's just better than Shock.
It's often better with Shock with Horus as the Dream Den.
That's true, yeah.
Not that we can play that card in this format, but
Yeah.
always killing Sithis. Sithis always has to die.
The life gain from Civis actually matters a lot in this matchup.
Period. And now I just like put all my chips in the middle and hope it's good enough.
You're not unlikely to win because like they need like two like yeah, they need like two prison spells or or like two removal spells or I guess surface plus something because that gains him one life. That's really
Yeah.
annoying.
I definitely think pitching iteration is correct.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Unfortunately, disaster occurs.
Second thing off in eyes or what?
I mean, just a fetch line is so many looks at removal, but they just have so many looks, right? Like,
Yeah, they just draw too many cards there.
spoiler, dun
There's
dun
the ring
dun.
cast.
I am dead to that shit by so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I can take a blind draw, but there's basically nothing helpful. I guess I just want to see more of their deck before I concede, but like, I'm basically 1,000% dead, right? Like,
Yeah, there's just next game vibes. Like every card is ancestral recall plus does something.
well, it's ancestral recall and gain a
And gain
life.
life. And
The
gain
the
life.
life gain is super relevant because like
Yeah. No, like if they're like 9 or 10 makes a lot of difference, a huge
all right.
difference. And like okay, let's see. I definitely like having Brazen Boar. I would definitely have that in as well. Just you can like instant bounce like on thin ices or something.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake not to
It's
have it in.
probably just a better threat than like the 100th Murktide or like whatever or like the.
I kind of like
How
Murktide
do
versus
you?
them.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely not bad. It's just like a two. It's just like kind of slow and then it just gets on thin ice. That's why I don't like necessarily love it.
Mm-hmm. This hand's like insanely broken though. Like,
Oh yeah.
did we talk about
Okay,
how
so
like insane DRC is? Like,
it's a pretty good card. Some people hate it.
yeah, I mean it. Yeah, you can hate it. I mean,
Some people don't like it. I like surveilling. Surveilling is fun.
Surveilling's fun, yeah. I definitely don't need a second Murktide, and we're
Yeah.
kind of getting things going.
Yeah. Definitely put back 2 lands, but you might redraw one.
I don't think I want to redraw one because I can just surveil off like a bolt or something this turn as well. Like,
Well, if they play something that you can bolt, yeah. Oh.
and this is weird. I was like trying to figure out if I'm supposed to bolt them to try to get Dorium.
Well, if you bolt them here, you can't cast the Murktide, so maybe you're supposed to.
I think that was the conclusion I came to, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you want to bolt them, which is weird because they have so many bolt targets now, but
Oh, I definitely don't want another Murktide, but
this is only a 5/5 Merc. Oh, they're at 15 though. Huh.
yeah.
3 turn clock. They definitely just seal fire this, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, you can't really let your opponent on top with DRC because then what if they just, like, put literally, like, they can just wait, you know?
Yeah, I'm just like, maybe they want to keep it for Sarah's Sanctum or something. I don't know. Now we just play Murky. I think 5/5 is good enough.
I
Playing around
was,
mana type. Oh, you're not playing around mana type.
nah, fuck that. I was just thinking about what was going on. I think definitely playing it is correct, though. Like,
Oh, playing it is definitely correct,
yeah,
but
I
you're not
mean,
respecting the mana type.
dude, if they have Mana Tithe in their Enchantress deck, they can beat me.
I agree.
I actually decided not to force this. I think that's correct because I think I need to force this instead, you know?
You only care about the removal spells now, right?
Pretty much.
Definitely cast Brainstorm because you have more looks for
Mm-hmm.
removal spells. Looking at their deck list, maybe I would have sided like this. Might sound crazy, but maybe I would have sided out like 1 or 2 wastelands, even though they have Sanctum because they like mono fetch basics.
Yeah. I didn't
Like they
know it
have
at the time,
Sanctum, but
obviously,
like
but
yeah, yeah, like some of their lists have like bayous and shit. Like, oh, they have this land as well.
I'll give you a
Interesting.
hint. You know what I really have to waste on this game? All of the Helios Generos. I actually wonder if I would have lost if they had just left up the activation to go put Onthen's ice on top. But I don't know. Definitely do not want quarter cutting this game. I don't think that's
No.
where this game is going.
I kind of want to find like lightning bolts.
I don't think you're allowed to shuffle that though.
No, you're not. But
So you just have a lot of looks. And I mean this Murktide's almost lethal. If I find another
yeah,
Murktide, it's lethal, I think, right?
yeah. They're targeting the land so much. I wonder how does this legendary work? What's this called? Atomic. Atomic.
I don't think it stops yourself if Atomic Distinguished
Oh,
Advocist, right? Am I correct?
yeah. But like if we had like if they were playing against like some deck with Atomic, they would have
Oh
like
yeah,
12 dead cards or
they would.
something.
Yeah.
I just no, I just found it funny because the card never does anything.
And hello, you're dead to second Murktide. Because Murktide is really good in multiples.
for whatever reason.
And I have days, so they can't really have anything. Well, good tournament still. Like 7-2 is always fine. I mean, if you're upset with 7-2, you probably need to find a different game, I think.
Yeah, no, 7-2 is fine. Tournaments are long. It's hard to just play every
I know.
round super well and shit.
All right. So yeah, that's my tournament. I think there's a few cards you're allowed to change. You can change like Spell Pierce, Force of Negation, Brazen Borrower. You can like you can turn baubles into something else if you really want to. I think I would keep one. I would. You can also cut
Chain
Chain
Lightning could be
Lightning. Yeah,
another removal spell or whatever.
and I think the only cards you really can't cut are these four. I probably wouldn't cut something like these, and probably like some sort of counter magic belongs. These are sort of meta dependent, I think.
Yeah.
So really,
Sanctuary is mostly for like mirror and control, and then like meltdown, break, submerge for like green white depths or like endurance sticks or whatever.
so someone asks, how do I feel about Heat? I don't really like that it can't go face in game one versus a lot of random decks. Although there are reasons to play the card, of course. But
I like Heath because it kills Elvish Reclaimer, but that's
oh
just
sure,
because I have played too much against green white depths.
sure. All right. One.
But I think every one of these one mana removal spells is reasonable to play
Sure.
if you think that the tournament you're in like has like if you think that like the upsides are applicable to whatever you're facing in the current tournament. Chain Lightning is just like the most safest one, I guess, because like you can always go upstairs. Always these three. Like always kills like the Delirium, Deerseas and shit.
Okay. So I'm gonna about wrap it up, but we do have some subs, so we need to open some chests. So let's get some commentary on what we open. Ah, cool. None of these cards are
Mega
good.
Might Ageless is a bait card. You read it and then you think, oh,
It's
it
really
can't go
not.
into it.
It's not
It's
good.
kind of sucks.
And this card
This
was.
card is, I don't know, probably good in drafts. I don't know.
It was pretty good in draft. All of the legends mattered too, but like this is not a
Tap
good
3.
chest.
What is the last ability? Tap X on tap Knights, destroy their creature.
That was
I
bait.
don't know.
Like
If
this
you
ability
like
was
casual
good.
Knight decks, you can play this card.
Well, also remember in Dominaria there were a bunch of like legendary spells that required a legendary creature to cast.
Oh, yeah.
But they were also all rares, and they were also all broken. So like whatever.
Yeah.
Like Urza's Ruinous Blast.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's like Library of
The Bibio Flex
Alexandria.
is so yikes.
It's so awful. It's like
I
it's
like that
like
they gave it. They made like a throwback card, but it's
it's
not
so
good.
bad. Oh,
Gabriel, I can get more behind. But
it's the stained
very
glass
cringe
one.
playable.
It's a stained glass one too.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Maybe I'll open something better. These chests are bad. Holy moly.
From
Oh.
Man's Eye, a commander. At least it used to be a commander staple. I'm not sure how much it is anymore.
Well, all
I
you
think it's still worth something, but it's not like expensive anymore or anything.
this card was pretty good in mirrored in draft too. Like because the format was kind of slow. So like
Oh yeah, sure.
I
It's just
mean
the arena, and every one of your opponent's cantrips is also a draw. Pretty good.
all right. All right. Well, that was a long time of because all my matches frankly went very 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 long. So let's
Yeah.
see. Caleb's playing.
And we saw a lot about like how to play the Hull Breacher, the
God,
Breacher Space matchup.
I'm so sick of Hull Breacher. Ooh, someone's playing Legacy
Everywhere.
Blue Black Shadow. We should raid them.
Okay, then rate them.
It is Empty the Warrens, which is a card you're a fan of as well. So,
I like it to the Warrens,
all right.
and I think it might be a crutch, but I like it.
Anyways, thanks for everyone being here. I'll be back probably Wednesday, and we'll see you all next time. And thanks, Stefan, of course. Like it's pretty late for him now. but I think he's still going to be up for a bit, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, see y'all next time.
Good night.